Conqueror of Avernus. Geez, I only get to say that a few more times. You all made your way through this lovely building and made it to one last little room with a crap ton of plot information that the party started to dig through, discovering some of the questions you still held, while getting a few more questions added on top of the pile. Most noteworthy was the fact that the blade carried by a certain dragonborn on the team happens to bear the name of the sixth Thane, as finally discovered. As long and as hard as the DM tried to hold out on that one piece of information, they found it. But I mean, after that, you made it to the crystal room, which was pretty much one of those blenders with blades on the outside and inside. And of course, our Tabaxi jumped his way down into there to activate this blender of death. Gave his chin a rub for all of 15 seconds and then booted his way up the sidewall like a god. Of course, level 20 is a wonderful thing to see, especially in action when you can all just shrug things off like that. Making it back up and activating the second crystal, you found, however, the doors had shifted in the room, one now permanently sealed, while the other opened up. Following it, you've made your way to the back area after a long, lanky, twisty-turny path. One of the few times the DM said, you know what, just go ahead and walk through. No traps today. When you walked into this next room, you saw a small table inside of it with a scroll atop of it, though blank, without any notes or information on it. Generic alchemical supplies lie in this room. A large vat, churning and bubbling, though. Any further glances beyond that is going to require an Arcana check, and there is a chest at the northern edge wall. In the middle of this room as well is a large teleportation circle. Same one you've seen previously to take you to another destination inside of Kintyre. But what might be catching your eyes the most is the book in the bottom left. Flipped open, not flipping open. That would imply something's happening at the moment. My bad, I slipped. What else could possibly go wrong? The door before it is, of course, quite locked as well, so you're looking to figure out what some of these arcane implementations are. Well, that's just going to be an Arcana check. The good old classics. Nimbar's like, I was already hovering over it, waiting, just...
I really was. I was waiting for you to finish.
Yep. And Nimbar, glancing through, picks up a big scoop of the blue goop here, takes a drink, and just nods. Yep, clone juice. I mean, that doesn't actually happen, but, you know. I've watched too much Rick and Morty recently, and that's something Rick would do. Like, you just, bloop, yep, this is clone juice. Clone juice, Morty. But I mean...
Nimbar's been cloned once too many times before, I think. I must be getting, like, some trauma associated with it now. Because
I haven't been cloned, I've been simulacrum. Sorry,
well,
I've only been cloned once. I've been simulacrumed a couple times.
I guess
like a sentry shaved off too.
You've seen yourself die several times now, though. Like, that must be playing on your mind somewhat.
Oh.
Really? Are you sure?
I don't know. When Alex has almost died, at least he's been unconscious for it.
Oh my word, it's true. It's true.
Oh dear.
Well,
I just don't expect to turn into a puddle when I die, so, like, I can separate me from magic. But it also helps I've been the one who cast it on myself. Right? Whereas one day you just woke up to 3 of you.
They all melted in a ritual. Oh dear.
It was a good time.
I think we still have them in there too. Alex and Alvin, yep. The ghosts of the past float around you for a brief moment. As I show them in their final moments, as these minis have not been changed since then. You were only level 18 back then.
Just a child? Oh dear. So, magical nerds, clone juice, who We've not run into any clones, have we?
Nothing of the sort yet, no. But the majority of the stuff in this room is used entirely for those purposes. The book at the door, even, is a complete re-copy of the one from the library, defining the clone spell down to the last letter.
Yeah. Now, just to confirm, I'm going to check inside these cauldrons. Are there any actual bodies in there?
Oh no, the cauldron over on this side of the room, the one that would hold them, is entirely empty. You'd fill it with juice and toss a body in there and you'd be good to go, sure, but for the most part this room is entirely empty.
Okay. Yeah, because, like, with the clone spell, it is when you die, your soul leaves your body and goes into the new clone body.
Yep.
So you wouldn't see clones walking around. You'd see one person who could be a clone of the original.
Right. Yeah. Is there any mention in any of, like, the documents or notes about who they're cloning?
This mostly appears just to be a storage area with spare components. No notations at all. At best, a storage room. And Dan, you checking out that chest while they're doing all this stuff and checking the magic stuff out?
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm just gonna say Jade walked by and he's like, "Oh, look, a room for cloning." Because you have the knowledge arcana as an ability that you get plus 12 to. So I'm gonna just give you this one since, you know, Nimbar's already aced it. He's like, specifically, this is the original model unit that uses a lower density form, which is actually much more efficient on the environment. You know, Nimbar's got like the encyclopedic knowledge of this crap, so. The chest in front of you, however, is not locked. You could flip it open if you wanted.
That sounds too good to be true. Yeah, I flip it open.
Opening up the chest. The only thing you find inside is a single robes. They shimmer softly as a snowflake pattern drifts across their form, like watching a snowfall in the middle of night. Cold to the touch as well.
That's a shiny robe.
Yeah, most definitely magical.
Oh, without a doubt. And do you reach down and pick them up?
Yes.
As you reach down and catch the robe, cool to the touch as it is, lifting it up, you see underneath it, crumpled somewhat and folded away, a rather grandiose design for a robe following kingly vestments that look like they've never been used a single day, of the highest quality of design you've ever seen. Easily worth a fortune in their own right, millions of gold. The filigree around the edge of this robe is not just gold plate look, but is in fact true gold, someone having turned it to thread and bound to the exterior in such a brilliant filigree that the artistic value alone is also priceless. And of course, glancing over it, you'll see some aspects of different cultures mixed together. The majority of the filigree work done by clean elven hands, while some halfling work had went in to putting together the majority of the hard fabrics, making them smooth. So smooth that silk itself would feel bad. The process would continue. Even the pelt around the top of it follows the design done by Goliaths from specific hunts from crag cats. But I can only go so far into describing a pretty set of robes when you're standing inside of a cloning chamber.
Okay. Does it look like these two sets of robes were intended for different people, or the same? Like one goes on top of the other.
Well, the kingly robes are huge. You could throw those on anybody. And you know, if Courtney was here right now, Bellamy would be going, "Hey, look at me!" But the other one can function as a cloak thrown over armor when worn. The magical one, you can tell its size will shift once you've attuned to it, so definitely, you know, the usual rules of attunement. Since it's magical in nature, you assume it will change. The
Right,
kingly
okay, I see.
robes, they appear quite specifically sized.
I guess I was more asking, like, does it look like my instincts tell me like if this is a royal clone chamber, then you'd have a set of clothes for the queen, a set of clothes for the king. But I guess if it's magical, then it fits whoever. Okay.
Beyond that, there is one last door in this room, and the teleport circle.
I request Flux to ask her armor if it knows where that teleportation circle goes.
Sure, yeah, I'll ask.
Last time you fought a red great worm. As you ask, what's this thing? It just says, Crystal Room - teleportation circle. So you know, that's no help.
Yeah, repeat that.
Can we ask the teleportation circle's destination?
Ask?
Flux gets the same response. Crystal Room - teleportation circle.
I don't think she's gonna tell us, guys.
Fair.
It was worth a shot.
Absolutely. Did we want to check out the door before we check out the teleportation circle?
I think we probably should.
Alright, let's go unlock a door.
You know what to do, Dan.
I'm sorry, I muted that, but I think it must have came through Jillian's mic.
Oh, I
Yeah,
heard.
probably.
Oh, that's what that small. I heard in the back, like I heard like in the background, and that was it. And I'm like, what was that sound? That was so quiet and tiny. It's like, that's me. I get you. I get you. You baited my curiosity on that one. Thank you.
He just sneezed.
So with a 38, Dan, of course, unlocks the door. Popping it open as Jade peers around the corner, he sees his arch nemesis, a long hallway ending in a dead end. You'll need to move forward like 20 feet because I don't have your vision set further than 60 so your system doesn't go kaput. You know, the usual stuff. But you can feel free to move your mini up and down to see the entire hallway, but I won't count it as you actually going in that room.
Seems empty.
Like completely empty, quiet hallway with the same pretty stonework beneath your feet as you move.
I'm going with a stick to make sure for traps.
As you make your way down to the end of the long hallway, tapping with the stick, you find the end of a long hallway, and unfortunately nothing more. No traps, no tricks.
Any secret doors?
That's a job for perception check. With a 25, Jade does not find any secret doors or etc. along the hallway.
But by the way, Jade, did you bag the 2 robes? Or are we leaving them?
Oh no, I took those.
Okay.
And Jade probably has as much fun as Bellamy would, and at one point or another has probably tried the kingly robes on.
Well, he's probably walking back up that super long hallway, the robes billowing out in the air behind him like some action hero as he walks in with kingly attire. Basically walks into the room. There's nothing down there, guys, don't worry. Walks right on by. I'll let it run. Nothing negative happens, no changes, no effects. You've got the super awesome pretty robes on. But you know what? Just for shits and giggles, you'll get advantage on charisma checks to persuade people while wearing kingly robes. Just because.
I love it.
I should actually call them robes of a monarch, because they can go either direction. Throw that onto a queen, she's gonna look just as flippin' epic. I just Google searched kingly robes when I was getting that image originally, so you know.
Can't believe I'm finding second use for this video clip. And
Though I will say, if Flux throws that on, it might not reach her heels. Alright, king in the castle.
Oh la la! Oh well. King in the castle, king in the castle. Have a chair, I have a chair. Oh,
Okay,
go do this, go do this. King in the castle.
I actually hit play on that, so that sound clips in the video now. I had to do it because I'm like, I know it's gonna be good. Oh my.
It's relatively safe Borat clip. They can go quite extreme.
They can go in a few directions that aren't great.
So,
Well, I mean, it seems like there's only one thing for it. Gonna need to.
Just in case, I want to double check. Hey Nimber, do you think if this is a one-time use, can you reactivate it?
let's check. Probably.
With the original High Arcana, I'll let it roll. This thing is tied directly to the powers of this world. Incredibly strong. You're not too worried about it losing power. It's directly wired in to the grid itself. So as long as Kintyre has power, this thing will always function.
I will pass that knowledge along. Can I... Because teleportation circles, part of them has writing for like destinations and such. Can I make an Arcana check to see if I can determine where it's going?
You go ahead, give me an Arcana check, see if you can translate those symbols over to a more rudimentary thing. As Nimbar stares, getting his lowest Arcana with a 20. He grits his teeth, looks sideways towards Flux, mostly her armor, as he says, "Crystal room, teleportation circle." Damn it.
I probably can't do much better. Can I try?
Yeah, by all means, you can roll an Arcana check.
I don't think you can do worse.
I've also been looking for a picture of a tabaxi wearing royal robes, and I cannot find it, because I'm just going to do a laugh. Jade gives a nod and says, "Crystal room, dash teleportation circle." That's what it says.
Guys, I think it might go to a crystal room. Or maybe, do you think it means it's this crystal room's teleportation circle, or do you think it means you're going to another crystal room's teleportation circle? Either way, teleportation circle. Unless we need to break a 30, in which case I can't do that. Maybe with guidance. But that's unlikely. About 5% chance.
But by the way, Ellen, here you go. This is what you were looking for, I'm sure. 1 second, sir. Just have to find the channel. Here we go.
1 second here. Oh. I almost put it up. But I didn't want to do it because our tabaxi is a lot cooler than that.
Oh, I absolutely.
But that's the only royal tabaxi I could find. I think he ruined it for everybody. Is the problem. Sandy actually found a good one. She's sending me by text. I'm gonna upload. It's a serious one. But that King John, okay. Still my favorite. My favorite Disney movie is still Sword in the Stone. I love the old school ones.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is just too adorable.
Let me see here. Here we go. And for the serious entry, this one's sent by Sandy. Because she heard that over my shoulder. She goes, "What about this one?" I'm like, "Okay, that's pretty close."
Interesting.
The Royal Tabaxi. Oh my word. So I see now why you can't find a kingly tabaxi. They ruined it on you. Sorry, Dan. Oh, such a good movie. I remember when they were kissing his fingers and they took the oh well, Dan's actually got a good one. Let me get that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that as well.
Search catfolk instead of tabaxi.
Oh, that would have been perfect. I bet y'all find something now looking with that. But that's going to be a jobby for me in the background.
Yeah.
I've actually had to do that a few times where it's like, hey, we need a tabaxi picture of this. And, I go search tabaxi, and it's like, I can't find nothing. Catfolk, because that's what tabaxi are.
Or worse, you search in Google image search, basically goes, ooh. That's the phrase I can use, right? For the pictures that come up. You're like, these are not battle tabaxis.
Alright. So, teleportation time?
Let's do it. Do we all
Jade steps onto the teleportation circle and sees what happens.
I will say,
Flux goes right behind him.
With the high Arcana checks, you have to activate this teleportation circle. It's a simple thing, you run up and incantate and bam, it goes. It's just is Jade running up and trying to do it before anybody else gets on with him is the question. Or you're just like, I'm doing this, and whoever comes with you goes with.
Well, I was going to ask if we should all step on it and then say the phrase together, like the Power Rangers morphing away. But that seems like quite the bit to organise before Jade completes his action.
The way I look at it, Alec probably would have triggered it. Are we all getting on this? And then Jade would already be walking like, oh yeah. And Flux would be behind him. But the question is whether or not, Dan, were you booking it so Jade just goes on his own? Or were you...
No, if everyone was making comments about asking if we're going together, I'd wait.
Perfect. I figured I'd double check, because every now and again you're like, you know what, my curiosity might get my character killed, but I gotta find out.
I've been trying to be better about it. I mean, my curiosity has almost got me killed a few times.
And once or twice it did. I mean, you came back satisfied too, so that's even better. Well,
worth it.
As you all step forward onto the platform, you give that nod as Alec goes, "It's morphin' time!" And if Courtney was there, she'd either be giving you the high five or shaking her head. I'm not sure which boat she'd fall into, but probably the high five, because usually she likes the silly stuff too. But you can rest assured, Bellamy, I got her right here. She's teleporting with the lot of you, don't worry. We are not leaving you behind, Courtney. However, as you engage the teleportation device, you see the world around you begins to slowly dim away before replaced by a bright light. I'm gonna need a different song to play in the background for this one, because what we're using now is a little too fierce for it. Oh shoot. That's weird, it's not on my list. Oop, 1 second, gotta change my song. What the hell?
no worries. I used this quick break in the game to complete today's facle. So, pretty good.
Alright, let's use a different song then.
Also, since I still had the image search up, I just noticed that King John was the trans king. I sent the photo.
Was a what king?
Oh, he has no
Trans. Yeah, no main, so.
I always just
Interesting.
assumed
Right?
too young to be, like, it hadn't grown in yet.
Oh,
I mean, that's possible, but I like this one better.
Alarm started going off outside. My word, it's not my best time here. Oh my word. Well,
If you need to take a minute, Alan, you go ahead.
my audio kind of locked up in Foundry, so I had to go to the files on the computer to fix it. Sorry about that, but I got it going again.
You don't need to. You don't need to be sorry, man.
Oh, this computer's... And then the car started honking outside, and I started getting cranky at it, and I was like, dang you, car. Don't you know? I don't need no honking right now. But what I have for you is a nice vision as you all fly through. You can all take a wisdom save if you want to ignore said vision. Except Dean, where Alec has been messing around with all this future woocher wimey-timey viewing it stuff, seeing vision stuff. Your character understands how these flow. You can actually choose to ignore or see it. The other players do not have the option to ignore. If you don't want to see it, you have to do a wisdom savings throw. Anyone actually doing the throw? Yes.
I would also like to see it.
Alex Solon, he's gonna see the vision. He's going to engage.
The sky opens up before your eyes. Beautiful blue with white fluffy clouds. The air feels fresh as it blows past your face. And for a brief moment you feel as though you've conquered everything. As your vision spreads out a little wider, you can clearly see you're on the back of a powerful red great worm. One you may recognize from a certain library encounter. One you may recognize cutting down.
This is awkward.
A strong hand reaches forward with a powerful suit of armor wrapped around it as it pats the neck of this great beast floating through the air. And a familiar voice rings out that you can hear. As your old friend Cavor says to the dragon, "See, this is the place I told you about. It may have taken us 15 years, but we did it. We found our peace." And as you look over and down towards the ground, you see what was the city Kintyre. Before, sundered, torn and broken as it is, before powered down and placed away, as the great dragon flies overhead, with Straken on its back, turning around at once. He gives a laugh as he pats the creature and says, "As I promised, with the only one to defy my mother's will, I gave you back your physical form, and now I'm going to give you the absolute greatest treasure hoard you could ever dream of." Or, they said as they landed, within the gates of this beautiful city, still quite empty, still so freshly built, but moments before tragedy will strike, as you know. Draken looks up towards him and says, "You can have the greatest treasure hoard of all the nations of the world combined, or you can have the greatest knowledge requiem of all the nations combined. Which one will you take, my friend? Which will you guard and enjoy for eternity?" With a smile, the two of them walked in, and the vision slowly faded from your character's eyes and vision. You'll also notice I blinked your minis out, so you actually can't see anything on the map anymore. So let me go ahead and do a poll, as I bring everyone's vision to one spot, as your vision slowly returns to all of you. After seeing the city for what it truly could have been, for where it was before lifting off and taking off shortly after its construction. Before coming back to Kintyre. Some of you might recall when I said earlier that I had been optimizing the map. Well, I may have gotten a little crazy on my optimizations. You find yourselves at the bottom of a stairwell, and unfortunately there's no return portal for where you stand. Glancing through and looking at the room, you would quickly find yourselves in a rather flat area. The stairs lead up with a single doorway before you. Another on the opposite side of the room leading out. And the third, an archway leading to another room in the distance. But you can feel free to move your minis around now.
Alan, have you been on Dungeon Alchemist?
Well, I bought me some nice upgraded tools for making maps and making work, so I figure you'd all be the first to benefit from them. The remainder of the dungeon, every last inch of it, has been completely redone.
Cool.
And it's all solid image, so it should run very smooth for everybody. If you zoom way out and start moving, it's going to slow down, I give you warning. But if you zoom way out, you'll also see the progress you've made on the map when you've got a mini selected. Very large map. And of course, as you venture around and explore this area, which mostly seems quite silent, set up to be a pretty design, you'd notice through that archway why this was called the Crystal Room Teleportation Area. Because through that archway, the room next door that you can clearly see, this will just take a moment as I upload an image. Because how about that? You get full 3D views of rooms now. One more large green crystal floats atop a stone pedestal. Numerous pillars in this room from floor to ceiling, except in the center where it goes incredibly high. Fill that area. They make vision a little bit of a pain from a glance. That's what you can see from where you're at. I hope y'all like the nice 3D view.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool.
Adds a whole different layer of depth to it.
Just gonna peer through the door, I think.
As Alec makes it to the door and peers into the room, staring at the crystal before you with only filled up to a certain degree. And yeah, I used the giant moss Culliver pillar for the green crystal. Cut me some slack. They were short on resources and I didn't want to do anything too crazy. Glancing through, I will say, your character's armor begins to grow very warm standing at that door frame.
Like, is it like heat from the room or like a reaction to the crystal?
You're not certain what's causing it. You don't feel ambient heat in this room, but your armor grows very warm as you step near the door.
I'll ask if anyone else is picking up on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna step near to see if I feel warm.
All of your inorganic gear that you're wearing as you walk up towards that door, all of it, begins to grow piping hot. Not so much to scald or burn you, but it's quite uncomfortable.
I suspect going in will be unpleasant.
Oh, so whoever goes in there is going to need to, well, might not need to, but might be advisable to strip down to your skivvies.
Hmm.
If you all decide to go with that plan for the sake of being able to wave it away, someone just send Jade first. I figure the fur will cover things.
Actually, Jade has a question because we have that fraught robe that creates coolness. If I put that over top, does it still heat up?
Oh.
Tossing the robe over yourself, you notice the robe begins to grow warm. And have Jade roll me a perception check. On a 34 on perception check, you also notice your character's fur, speaking of it, is growing warm. Your actual skin doesn't seem to be, but your fur is. I will say, from the area that you're glancing in from now, you can notice clearly that there's a divot in this area at the base of this crystal, where it's also connected to one of those 10-foot beastly rods of metal to carry the power through to the area, as you know. But inside that divot you can see a button, a singular switch to be pushed downward.
I would like to cast Mage Hand to kind of float the hand in.
What's the maximum push strength on Mage Hand?
5 pounds, I think.
10 pounds.
10.
Can't attack, activate magic items, or carry more than 10 pounds.
Alrighty, it's unable to push.
Okay, but can it get into the room?
Your Mage Hand?
Yes.
Oh, right, my bad. No. Thank you, John. I slipped on that one. I forgot the anti-magic barrier.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the main thing I wanted to figure out.
This crystal, of course, radiates powers, much like the others, which makes it very difficult for anything to come out. So what I'm actually going to do is add a nice cool-looking light source.
Flux takes off like her gauntlet. Does her scales heat up?
Flux's scales do begin to grow hot standing near that doorframe.
Right. So if is Nimbar's skin heating up?
Standing outside? Nope.
Okay, I'm going to put my hand inside.
There we go. Give me a nice roiling light source off of that. Popping your hand inside, your skin begins to grow uncomfortably hot.
I will pull it out and let the others know.
But your hair heats up first. Okay, right. So I'm just trying to think. So I get the feeling it'll be worse for Jade and Flux to be in there if their fur and scales is already heating up, whereas two pink skins are relatively okay just outside the door.
Being said, there's no magic in that room. I'm not sure how much help I'm going to be.
Can I, is there like, any rocks or like dust from the torches or something? Can I like throw it into the room and see if there's like, is there anything between like these pillars? I'm wondering if it's some kind of like burning maze. We just
Tossing a
can't
rock
see
in
it.
gives us a standard clitter clatter as it rolls across the floor.
Right.
I'll pull Flux's token over to save you this step. Bellamy, however, she's gonna point out as she's appeared. She goes, "Oh, hey guys, look, the teleporter brought me through. Yeah." But she points. However, I'm thinking that slot with that button, isn't there one that I can see in the bottom corner and the top corner? That probably means there's 4 of them. And she pats Nimbar, which is okay. That means you won't have to go inside, but she's gone.
Oh, 4 buttons. Do you think we all need to go in?
I think we all have to go in.
Jade will take the far side because she has the highest movement speed.
Just debating whether to go in with my armor on or not.
I forgot I was still on stealthy story mode.
I'm almost tempted to just step in, see what happens, then step back out, just see how bad the armor gets.
We're going to have to at some point.
Well, Jade will, since you guys.
Well, if you want to
since
try,
you guys are healers.
well, what I was gonna suggest is that Flux could do it because she's got the biggest health pool.
If you want, I'll let you through.
Well, I mean, if you want to do it, go for it because you've got your like.
I mean, it makes sense you've got the HP to burn kind of thing. I just
Yeah.
feel kind of bad suggesting an idea and then going, your health points, but
Yeah, but
It
you're
makes
not
sense.
suggesting it. I'm suggesting it to you. Yeah, I'll go in.
Flux paid for 300 health. She's gonna spend 300 health. Well, 284, but who's counting? Walking into the room, you feel your very flesh beginning to warm with 5 feet worth of step in. Moving a little further forward to the 10 mark, you can feel the heat growing stronger with each step closer to that crystal. And you can feel a pulsating from each one of the pillars in this room radiating through here. By the time your character hits 15 feet, she probably would want to turn back because she knows she's going to need to be doing a con save against some serious damage if she doesn't. She can feel it pushing against her with her natural sense of danger. It's up to you if you push on or jump out of there and get back out before you take damage.
Go 5 more feet.
Alrighty. 20-foot mark inside of that room would put you, and I'm just going to grab your mini because it's actually in this direction that we got to go. Pop.
Oh, sorry.
15, 20. Would put you here inside of the room.
That's 15. This is 20.
Yeah, but that's assuming she starts inside the room. She started in this square. 5, 10,
Oh.
15, 20. Would pop her that far in the room. You do have 30 feet of standard movement, plus a full action, or you can take a dash and, jog in there.
Well, yeah, I'll just take it 5 feet at a time. I'll go another 5 feet.
Already. The longest 6 seconds ever, as Flux goes in for 25 feet. The pressure and feeling of heat and warmth in this room is unbearably pushing down on your character the closer you get to that crystal. You can feel it assaulting your every sense, like standing in the middle of a pool of hellfire.
Gotcha. Do I notice anything, like when I look around? Any clues as to how to... Like, we're trying to turn it on, right? If it's like the other ones?
Glancing through the heat, through the pain that you haven't quite felt yet, you can see, it looks as though Bellamy may have been correct, there are multiple points with buttons on them.
I'll go and try to press one button. First one, the closest to me.
How much movement would that take? 35 foot to get to that point. As you rush in and put your hand down and push on the button, it does not move. Now that's an interactable object, So you still have another 25 feet of movement left, but that's only going to get you back to the door, not out of the room.
Okay. Any suggestions? Flexible yell from the other guys to the other guys before.
I didn't think
Jeez.
you were going to go that far into the room. I thought you were just going to step in, see how bad it was, then step back out.
Well, I'm fine. Currently, I'm very, very, very uncomfortable, but I'm okay.
I'm
Keeping
fine
in
currently.
mind,
Burst
this-
into flames.
this represents a turn, 6 seconds of Flux going in there, grabbing the button. She's moved 35 of her 60 feet because she's using dash. I will say around this time, because this will be about 2-3 seconds in, your hazmat suit's going to light up. You're going to see numerous warnings. You're going to see numerous things telling you to get out of this room. Danger, health not confirmed. And then mention something about microwave particles.
Yeah, just get out. I think
Okay.
we're going to need to, like, do some
Go.
fuckery to...
I mean,
Yeah.
your armor would tell you the same thing if you were standing in the middle of fire or in the middle of a lava pool or anything like that. But it's warning you right now that you're in a place that is definitely dangerous to standard health. And since you'll be 5 feet short when you make it to that door, unless you want to burn an action surge on it, which I doubt, you're going to need to give me a Constitution savings throw.
Before that, does Lulu's blessing still work in there? Because that would make her have 35 feet of movement.
Ooh, I do have 35 feet. It's true.
Kick your heels and thank Lulu as Flux skids out the door, and then reminds a forgetful DM of power-ups. But you have so many. This 20th level, you've got like a full deck of cards held in one hand, like, I'm going to use this ability today. Flux makes it out of there just in time. Your armor is working overtime to bring your body heat back down. You can hear fans and stuff kicking in. It sounds like a modern-day computer going on full tilt trying to run Crisis. But for your character, you'd just be like, ooh, fresh, cool air. This is nice.
My con save was 16. Theoretically, that probably wouldn't have passed, would it have?
You would have had advantage due to the hazmat armor on your con saves.
Interesting.
So I'll leave that ambiguous. As if implying you might have needed it. 25. Okay. Flux might have shrugged that off at that point.
Right.
So,
Okay. Do we think that we need to push all the buttons at once?
yes.
So Dan brought up that Jade has the fastest movement speed. So we probably want Dan to scoot here.
I have the slowest.
You probably want to run to this closest button,
No.
and then Alec and Flux will take the sides.
Yeah. Now, thanks to Lulu's blessing, we do get triple dash as well.
If you use your action to dash,
Yeah.
you can dash twice as an action instead of once, but then you...
Yeah.
It doubles the bonus
but-
from a dash instead of leaving it a single dash benefit.
Exactly, but that means we get to what is the word that I'm looking for?
Run like
Yeah, that means like we can get in there, use our dash action to get there, use interact with the object, press the button, and get out.
So instead of just double, so it would go from like 35 feet of movement speed
105.
105. Right.
I only get 90.
That's assuming that it all goes according to plan, which I guess is all we can do.
Yes.
The furthest return trip to get there, push the button and get the heck out of Dodge, is 180 feet. As you can see from the math I just pulled there, from going to the other side and back, you're going to need 130 feet. And whoever wants to run that front button, you've got the easy path. since it only requires 70 feet.
Well- I'm just wondering, can we do like...
I think I'm looking at the map. I think the pillars are probably there to cut
Oh, they're solid.
so it's more like a grid than, so it reduces the diagonals.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you can do this to get 100 feet, because you can go diagonal.
Well, remember, we won't all be starting from the spot just outside the door.
True.
We're going to need to, like, from wherever our possessions are. Because we'll all we'll go about 3, 2, 1, go, and we'll go in as a group. So we need to think
150
about
feet,
who's, like, where do we want everyone? Like, if you only need 70 feet to get in and out, Nimber, maybe go at the back.
Yes.
Jade's got the furthest to go. He goes right in front of the door, and Flux and
So-
Alec either side.
Dan, how much feet can you move in a turn?
What are we using? Yeah, like if I put everything into movement.
You'll need one interact with object to press the button, but other than that, everything into movement.
Well, I mean, for Jade, that he can double dash as a rogue, and that's before his feline agility, so I'm pretty sure he can go.
Yeah, like, I feel like he could be
180, and then feline swiftness to 360.
So yeah, so he could like be behind me and still make it there and back in a turn.
If you could interact with objects as many times as you want in a turn, he can get round the pillar several times and back out. Like, done, you guys.
Jade runs around,
Well-
pushes all 4 buttons, comes back, does it himself. He's like, there. I was in all places at the same time. It's the only thing that makes sense with that kind of speed.
Well, technically, if I movement, action dash, so that's only 3 times speed. Give me a moment here.
Oh, it's the tabaxi. While you're taking a moment to do math, and while the team's planning for a sec, I'm just gonna grab a quick drink, but I still have my headphones on. I'm still listening.
Alright. It really is, with Jade approaching like that bit in X-Men First Class with the Quicksilver.
Yeah, if I use movement, action dash, and feline swiftness, I can go 270 in 1 turn. But I can bonus action interact with object. So if we think that's possible, I could use interact with object, bonus action interact with object, hit 2 of the buttons, and then come back. But it's the question of, do we think all 4 have to be pressed at once? Or can we do 2 and one person do 2 in 1 turn?
I think it'll be at one.
We could try it.
Well, I think it's going to be something like it reacts off the like energy of the person pressing the button. So
I'm kind of leaning towards it's all 4 at once as well.
Same.
and then that
Well,
way
the only reason why I'm saying we could try it is because keep in mind that Alan, like, nothing happened to Flux in a round. Like, I wonder if we do it all in 1 round,
I don't.
we
think
might not.
We can though.
Well, no, not all of us, but like if it was Jade and 2 other people. Wonder.
I think we're going to spend at least a round in there.
Yeah,
Negative consequence. So
that's very true.
we may as well all just go in there instead of having to. So we're guaranteed to take some kind of hit. If we try it with just 3 people, I think we're more likely going to take that negative hit at least twice.
Gotcha.
Do we want to see what the negative hit is?
Because I could go back in and see, or you could go in one of your wild shape forms, Dean.
I'll that's an anti-magic field, so my wild shape would just get
Oh,
cancelled.
gotcha.
Because I was thinking originally, it's like if we can't be in armor, and it was just one button, probably Alex would be the best set person to go in, because a naked druid can still do 90% of their stuff, but then the 4 buttons is like,
Yeah. The big problem is the no magic. This would be so much easier if we could just use magic.
Well, I think yeah, you're right, but it really does show why you always need some martial classes, because
Oh, absolutely.
sometimes there will be. Everyone's like, there's no point playing a fighter past 10th level. It's like, if you ever put a wizard in an anti-magic field, no bueno.
You ever give level 20 fighter with top tier items from the actual game itself is pretty damn nice, I'd say, wouldn't you, Jillian?
Yep. No complaints.
As long as you keep them balanced and give them magical gear to keep the damage up, because it's meant to be that way to a degree. Even then, if you don't, 4 attacks which turns to 8 with a bonus for 9 depending on the build, it's just nasty.
I really like the weapons that give you 10-foot reach as well.
Oh god. Plus Sentinel and Polearm Master and all that stuff tossed in. Gets awesome. Well, y'all gotta figure out what you're gonna do with this chamber that I've set up.
Right. I think we've got a semblance of a plan, as if we put... Well, we're all going to like bust in the door and run air assigned stations, so I think we're going to swap Nimbar's token to stand where Jade is, then we'll put Jade in front of the door instead of Flux, and then we're all gonna, I think, just run to our buttons, press them, and try and get back out.
I would let everyone else go in front of Jade because of the distance I can travel.
Alright. Okay. Alright. And so you know that Jade's going here, Nimbar's going here. Any preference, Flux, on where you go? The upper button?
No.
Okay. Alright, will you go to, I guess, to where that ping is, and I'll go to the upper button. And we'll, let's go for it. It's the first crystal we'll be activating as a team.
Alright. Let's go.
So do you all have enough movement to get in and out with that plan?
Yes.
I think some of us might have to last a round in there, but
Well, let's see.
I think
Let's.
good.
We know Jillian's character can do it. Flux has already done it once, running into the middle, but can she do it off to the side? Because we'll start with you, Jillian, for movement, for getting in there and getting out.
Okay, I can go. 1 second here.
Because the concern you're having here is if you end your turn in this area.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35.
Oh, I thought that was.
I stopped moving. 30. Do I have to go up again because of the boundaries?
Yeah, I can. You should be able
Oh,
to.
no, okay. It's if for some reason. Let me try with the. Okay, that was 25 or 35.
That's 35 to that spot.
35. Can I step there? Is the pillar in the way?
No, you can make
40?
it that way.
45. I can probably hit it from 45, right?
You gotta be straight on. It's a cylinder that your arm has to slide into to push down on.
Gotcha, 45, so 50.
Another 50 to
and-
get back.
Yeah,
And
I have So 35 times 2 is 70, right?
Yep.
Yes. So I've already used 50, right?
Yeah.
You can make it
so I have
because
20 feet.
No, but if you use your action to dash, you get another 35. So you
Okay, right,
because of Lulu's blessing. So
Yeah,
you
so
should
I
have
can-
105.
Okay, yeah, I can do that then.
Alrighty, so Flux can make it. Can Alec make it?
I don't know. I thought I was going to that button.
Oh,
I mean-
would it be? Sorry, I thought you said I'd go up and you go down.
I think it's the same distance, to be fair.
Yep.
Well,
Well,
So
that's the thing is Alex sees her go. He's like, oh shit. I was going to go over the top, and he turns left to go the opposite way.
yeah. So yeah. Right. Let me see.
I suppose.
I think with the door, I think I need a little bit of extra movement. Because of the not being next to the door. So that's what 55 foot there. So I'll go push the button, and then no wait, that's another 50 foot out. 55. I should be okay. 100. No wait. I can get to the. Well, I've got 105 foot of movement, so I can get into the doorway. Just. Yeah. I
What
can
was
get back to
Julian's?
the doorway. Yeah.
Julian had 105, so that was 50 and 50 for hers. So she'd be able to stand here in this space, which would give you the doorway space.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about you crossing paths, so long as you all have enough move to not end up in the same square.
Yeah, I think Jade. Yeah, we should be able to do it. I think that's why I was going to go. Yeah.
So I'm going to put duplicates of your minis down just to make it a little easier so we know who's where. Because we got a Flux here.
Okay, because I can, Dean. I just misunderstood
it's-
what you had said,
it's
so
not
I
fine.
can.
It's done.
One went up, one went down. Alec ended up stumbling a bit because he was like, I thought I was going right. Julian's like, my right or your right? Oh, damn. Or, sorry, Flux was like, my right or your right? I'll go with that. That works well. But this way you can still have your minis around the crystal while we do this next part. And Nimbar, do you have enough room to get back to a safe spot?
I can get back to like here.
Duck and cover.
Like just to make sure they all have room to get out.
So we'll put a spare Nimbar on the map over here, and I'll save you a step and just, oops, pull your mini through the wall.
Thank you.
And Dan, I don't need to ask. We already saw it. You were the first one to do the math. You're like, I'm sitting on like 300. I could probably do better. Shit, Dan could probably... Jade could probably run in and vault the damn crystal with all that movement. You wouldn't want to do it. It would end badly, but you know. So I'm just going to put another Jade on the map over there to save myself time. So you all rush in together as an effective team as Julian's armor goes crazy with the alarms and the alerts, and you make your way into the cylinders. Everyone throws in their hand and pushes down at the same time.
3, 2, 1, go team.
Well, as you all push down, the buttons move freely when pushed at the same time, which means there might be a brief moment where one of you, I'm gonna say Jillian, is pushing down on the button. It's like, guys, nothing's happened. Oh, there it goes. You know what I mean? Your character gets to be the fun one who was the first to jump onto the button. Fast and Smooth's like, I got this. Oh, shit. Oh, no. And as you do, the crystal begins to hum with magical strength as the power it was given off fades slowly before draining down into the floor through the rod in the middle, which hums with an incredible burst of energy and power. That 10-foot pillar of odd metal, which looks far beyond anything you could ever hope to build a weapon out of, and carries so much energy, as the third and final crystal flows through Kintyre. You feel the city itself rumble once again as it shifts and twists and turns. But of course, you can't see any of that from inside. However, I will also add, as you're all running back and you make your way out of this room, as you break through the door at the last moment, right before going in, Jillian would notice, her armor would stop making alarm sounds. The heat would be wearing off. No longer would that effect permeate through that room, now that the final crystal that you needed has been activated. That's right, you did it. You've sealed Kintyre's fate now.
Well,
So, Kintyre's push to start system with keyless entry.
Yep. Good thing it wasn't a party of 3 that got this far. They'd be like, okay, who's casting Simulacrum?
Can my familiar push the button?
But then the Simulacrum familiar walk in and poof, they're gone. Damn,
Oh yeah, magic.
You have Nimbar chopping an arm off, like, just take one of these, it might work. Sorry, John, I say that because you lost the arm the one time.
Yeah.
Well, it's up to the party. What you do now. The crystal's been activated, radiating its power through Kintyre, as the city is now fully active. Which means, wherever that antechamber that you know, where the monstrous creature that Dean had seen previously sits, awaits.
Well, I mean, I guess we could open up these doors and see where they lead. So that's it. That looks like a door.
And as a
This
fun
one.
benefit that you'd all be noticing at this point, your characters have all been granted a long rest. Warping through time-space from one zone to the other has refreshed your characters. It's also triggered any of your at dawn recharges, because a keen eye would soon come to notice that it seems you've been shuffled slightly through time. Either Kintyre shifted or you did, you're not certain what's happened, but it looks like you've been granted a small blessing. It is once again the morning of the 19th. Your characters all immediately gain a long rest and may continue on to their journey. And meanwhile, John's going, yes, you asshole, you took my spells, yes! Right? It's true.
Dude, I'm very pleased. That's a lot for me.
Oh, yeah. You're on the last wing now, so...
Considering I've given up a long rest, like, this is real great.
Alec has gained a whoa. So what can I put on him for a whoa? You know what? I don't use this for nothing, so I am putting the actual poison ticker on you, so we know that it's whoa.
Yeah, so I can 6 times today I can subtract a d6 from enemy's attack roll, saving throw, ability check.
That's gonna come in handy against final boss.
Okay. So at some point, I need to switch over my books too.
Yep.
Switch over my book, get the steel toe, cast a spell, switch back. God, I just need more attunement slots.
You should get I heard about this item called a
Ooh,
ring
John,
of attunement. Requires
sorry.
attunement.
Only items equipped in attune regain anything. Anything else has just been thrown through time.
Oh, okay.
As much as I'd love to let you get that, just be happy I gave you back your spells.
Yeah.
No simulacrum for you unless you want to actually burn it.
I mean, I still could use the other book to do it now.
Any spell. But you can do a pretty cool edit spell with any spell, admittedly.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
nice for the way that would work for swap over. As near as I can tell, I think that's the spiritual successor to the spell, so.
Yeah, probably closest. It's
Except autopilot gets turned on because the old school magic carries through. But that's, So, the crystal's active. The archway's still open if anybody actually wanted to go back into the microwave. And yes, that was a microwave oven. Modern technology
What
can
was
make
the
them very
damage?
small.
What was the damage we would have taken?
On a failed con save, would have been 8d12 fire damage and 8d12 bludgeoning damage. Half on a pass.
Would we have gotten our resistance for the fire?
Thankfully, you would have gotten the resistance, so it would have been essentially 4d12. But it's a con save too, so I threw that on there so Dan couldn't screw me over with his evasion. Oh.
Yeah, thankfully, I have a decent con save, actually.
So incredibly amazing is the technology of Kintyre that they created a microwave. But much like our first computer, it takes a room 90 foot by 115 foot to contain it.
They must have made popcorn by the wagon load then.
Sadly, they were only a day away from taking a shipment over when Kintyre was attacked. Could you have imagined?
Oh no!
They almost made the greatest invention ever.
It's an injustice.
Yeah. So, now that we have everything powered, we want to find the control room, right?
Siri. Is she able to give us directions?
I'll ask her. She's not been super useful, but I will ask her anyway.
You know it's going to be the one time we don't ask that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you ask, hey, where can I find that? Siri starts to load and pulls information up. And makes note. Have you all zoomed out on your maps?
Oh,
Zoom out because I'm about to do a poll.
I'm zooming.
Alright,
I went the wrong way.
I'm zoomed out as much as I can be.
Text flies across the front of your mask. It says Control Console. Multi-automated vehicular instrumentation utility systems are allocated here. It didn't work, did it? Did you all get a poll?
No.
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 There you go.
Oh,
God.
And it says, warning, defense structures are active.
Oh, God.
So we're only a short way away, is what we're saying.
Only a short way, and there's no danger in between us. It'll be fine.
I can't see it. Like, I can see the map, but it's too big and I can't find where you pulled us.
Like,
Dead center.
I don't know if you can see, like, my
I can
little...
see a circle. Is that you? I'm so zoomed out I can't even see your name. Like,
I'm
is it
trying...
a ruler?
Purple
Right.
line,
Yeah, the ruler. His is better. Okay.
Well,
However, I'm surprised there's something else you haven't asked. Given information that I gave in the vision that you had before you came, I thought for sure Dan would be asking Jillian to check.
Oh,
It's crossed my mind. but with the time limit and stuff and blah blah blah, it might not be a good idea for me to go after that.
so
we can always come back
treasury?
for treasure.
They claim to have a treasury, and not just a regular treasury, but you're talking the entire GDP of every single race that existed. You sure?
Where is it?
We must be packing close to that, and Jade's like multiple portable holes and stuff just filled with coin by now. Surely we can't be too far off.
Jillian, you gonna ask something
Yeah.
to Siri?
Where the library is?
No, the treasure hoard.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, I'll ask.
So, as Flux says, Siri, where's the treasure hoard? You see lights beginning to flash across the screen, and the DM's gonna take his arrow, point up to this area, very, very close to the other spot, as you could imagine.
Oh,
As it says, local treasury of Blackrock, presently analyzing. And then it sees dots and such going across the screen as you see financial values start going across your character's face. And as you see, it takes into account and starts listing numerous treasures, hundreds of them, various trinkets and artifacts, and putting prices on them, to the point that it would make your character quite shocked when it says at the end, taking into account inflation and other variables. I'll send you that message. It's up to you if you even want to tell that to Jade. Approximate value of present treasure of economy value for Blackrock is valued at...
Are you okay, Jillian?
I'm fine.
That's probably Flux's response too.
Actually, yeah. Guess. Anybody guess, please.
either really high or it's really low.
Just
if
go
the city
fire
was-
away.
Wait, so if the city was attacked before it was inhabited, truly, is it 0?
Not 0. Any
Not
other
0.
guesses?
20 years of people working together to build this. And I'll just be a moment. I'm going to grab myself a quick refill on my drink while you all play with this.
Let's say 7 trillion.
It's higher than that. You're close though.
10 trillion?
Higher.
100 trillion?
17 trillion. 17.6 trillion gold points.
Oh my lord.
The question is, we have players now. No, do you tell Jade?
I think that the interaction went exactly as it did here.
Why?
Flux is literally like having like an emotional breakdown laughter right now.
So Alec, I don't think we're even close to that number.
Well, I always like to try and guess I always assume everything's like a kind of a trick question. I guess not.
No, he was just using the Price is Right theory, right? You bet $1, and then you don't go over.
He's a $1 guy.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, fuck,
I
I
wish
just remembered
that
I have
was
tea and
the-
I haven't drunk it.
Reference that I really got, but I don't.
Well, there you go.
Wait, you don't know Price is Right?
It's not a thing where I'm from.
I'm so
Oh, that's-
sorry for your childhood.
Plus, the prices would be so different from American versus UK shelf. Plus, with the dollar changeover,
oh,
my
abs-
word.
Absolutely, yeah, no. It makes sense, but at the same time, like,
It's rough
Is
as
that-
being Canadian. They'd be like, "Look at this furniture set with this barbecue. How much would you pay for that?" And I'm like, "That's $4,500." And the Americans are like, $950. And they're like, "Oh, that's high. It's only $750." And I'm like, "What, Dad? We have to shop from there." And he shows me the conversion rate, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's $3,500." Damn the Canadian dollar.
Right, so I guess it's like you guess the value of an item, you get
They
points
take-
for being the closest.
They take 5 or 6 contestants, depending on which one, and each one takes a turn to guess the value of the item up there, and the closest to it without going over wins, and then they get to go up and do another contest. There's the Plinko one and a couple others, and if you win that contest, you win the prize.
Okay. Is the prize all the stuff?
Sometimes.
Sometimes it's like, hey, if you win, you get this new car.
Yep, that was the best.
Don't forget about.
On a
Don't
brand
forget
new
the.
Oh.
Forget about the showcase showdown.
Oh, right,
yeah, at the
showcase
very end.
showdown at the end. Because they do 2 winners per show, and then they showcase showdown for like a grand prize.
Yeah, so there's like a first half of the show, and then there's a second half of the show. So like, and it used to be, was it the commercial breaks? Like there was the first half of the show, and then there would be a commercial break, and then you get the second half of the show, and then there'd be one more commercial break, and then they do the showcase showdown.
Yep.
They compete, and it's basically just like a big version of that where they have to, like, they're given like, okay, this is a trip to Hawaii for 7 days, a kitchen set, a new set of golf clubs, a golf cart, and I don't know, some kitchen appliances. And then it would be like, how much do you think your showcase total is? Then I have to guess like, like $30,000 or whatever, and then whoever wins that one, it's the whole game.
And don't they get different showcases for that showcase showdown?
Yeah, they get 2 different ones.
I almost forgot with the showcase showdown too. Before they do it, they have to spin the big wheel and get as close to $1 without going over.
Well, so that's how they decide who's going to the showcase showdown.
Yep.
The 3 people who won the rounds, or however many there are, roll the wheel, and then whoever gets closest to $1 without going over on the wheel gets to go to the showcase. And you keep everything, including the money from the wheel.
Yeah, it's only a couple dollars. That's awesome.
No, it's not. It's it represents like $1 is 1,000. So if you land, I think.
Yeah, I believe that's what it is. There's a catch to the whole game, though.
It's been
that they don't tell you is whatever you win, if you take it, you have to pay the taxes on it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Flipping America for
Yeah,
that. We tax
you can take the money equivalent, though, can't you?
Yeah,
Still would have to pay taxes on it.
Yeah, but I mean, at least then you don't have to, like, it doesn't cost you thousands of dollars to compete.
It's free money, though, so you know.
Exactly.
Oh my. Alrighty, so game at hand at this point now, as Flux has seen $17.6 trillion worth of moolah and treasure is apparently inside of Kintyre.
Can I ask Siri if there are any life forms in this area?
And did you inquire if there's any life forms? It just mentions the Guardian. The same one you already know stands between you and the final chamber.
Okay, I will reiterate with the group.
And then says 4.5 life forms around you.
4.5?
Bellamy.
Yep. It confuses the systems. You have 4 and root of -1. Actually, that works. Because that's an imaginary number, right? So, you know. That was a good math joke, damn it.
It's too nerdy even for us, Alan.
4 plus root -1. Creatures found in your area. I'll give you that just for the fun of it. Now, I suppose the owl would count too, so that'd be 5. But I don't know. Did Kamshag get killed? I can't remember.
I think he just got lost in a map shuffle. I would have had to leave him out here for the anti-magic field, but it's free to bring him back, so he's usually there.
Well, let's be honest, if you did not, your Kamshag would be looking like this.
Ah, dear.
Actually, hang on. My bad. I have a better picture. It's actually microwave chicken.
By the way, Alan, I posted a meme for you.
Be rational, get real. The classic math jokes. Fun fact, I actually know pi to like 30-something decimals. I won some beer for it some years back.
Nice.
I'm just gonna run to the bathroom, guys.
Sounds good.
On that subject, do you know the White and Nerdy song by Weird Al?
Yeah.
In the background, he says, he's like, I know pi to 100th place. He only shows to the 50th place in the background.
That's fair.
Okay. Actually, I'm also gonna run to the washroom. Did we want to take our break now?
Sure, since everyone's taking a quick jump to the washroom, we'll take a quick 15-minute break and be back at 12:25.
Sounds
All right,
good.
cool.
See you then.
Alrighty, we'll see y'all shortly. I'll put it on pause and mute the music. Alrighty. I have returned.
Welcome back.
Thank you. After 20 levels of D&D, nearing the end of a campaign, what do I decide to give the rogue? Everything he's ever looked for, and then more. I'm just gonna hold up the Dr. Evil Pinky and say $1 trillion. Or at least 17 in this case.
Ahoy, hoy.
Hello. Welcome back.
The only question left is for Jade. He's sitting there pondering and pondering and pondering, going, how am I going to carry it all?
Need to get Nambar to invent a bag of infinite hope.
Well, there was that one shop guy that had his own spell that created like a portable dimension that he could walk around with to sell stuff. If I could figure that out.
Oh yeah, good old JM. He sold you the standard Adventurer's bags of trick and general equipment. Then, when he realized you weren't all assholes, he immediately went back on that and said, "No, give that back. You're actually spending money and you're good people." You were like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Just write the name down." And you write it down. Now look at the first letter of each word, and you're like, "Sabotage." You're like, "We don't trust this guy anymore." He goes, "Yeah, you don't have to trust me or not, but I'm giving you the good gear now." That was a fun time. Parties like
Sorry,
the
I'm
DM
actually
sent
just
us.
gonna.
Oh, sorry, Jillian.
Sorry, Alan. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I'll be on mute because I'm eating ramen and I don't want to make slurpy sounds.
I almost got some ramen for lunch. I got myself a bagel with a little bit of peanut butter on it instead, but I bought the cups of ramen because they were on sale at the grocery store, and I'm like, ooh, guilty pleasure. So I'm with you, Jillian. Ooh, that's good. Jealous. Which one? What flavor you go for?
Kimchi.
Ooh, spicy. That's a good way to have an afternoon. I'm gonna have to
Well,
get
I
one
should
after
clear my nose out anyway.
That's a
So
good
I
point.
have Dean really built up my spice tolerance. The Indian women that I work with are always like, "Oh, Jillian, you have to try this. You have to try this. See if you think it's spicy." And none of them, like, I'm saying, like, yeah, okay, they're spicy, but I can eat them. And they're just like, wow, like, genuinely impressed.
Oh, and I love Indian food so much. I'm jealous now.
Me too.
That'd be a good day going to work. Be like, I used to have a buddy who was Indian who I worked with by the name of Kartik, and he brought in lunch a few times, and he'd look at mine and he goes, "Oh god, that steak potato thing you got there looks delicious, Alan." I'm like, "This is just my leftovers," and he got like this curry rice with an amazing, really rich, powerful smell coming off, and he goes, "Yeah, this is just my leftovers from yesterday. Can we swap?" And I'm like, "Can we? gimme." I'm happy as can be, and he's getting happy as can be because I suppose it's the opposite side of the coin for him. He was like, "Oh, that's the opposite meal of what I get. That's your Western Canadian food. Give me that." I'm like, "It's steak and potatoes. Here you go. Give me curry." Oh, I love Indian food. It's really good. I love the spice. Damn it, I got triggered. Sorry, Jillian.
You want to check out the Tawa Grill in downtown Halifax? And if you can get like takeout or something, it's
What's the name of it?
Tawa, TAWA.
Because I got 40% off on Uber Eats, and if that works, I'll do that.
It's right next to, you know, historic properties like where the Keith's Brewery is.
Oh yeah.
It's there. But yeah, it's really good. It really reminds me of the like Indian takeaways I got in Scotland, and I've been taught I'll work with a lot of Indians. Said that's like where they go if they're going out to eat.
Very nice. It's like best choice across the water.
Yeah, and I think if you get like a free dish with every combo you get.
Ooh.
Some lentil thing that's pretty good as well. So I would heartily recommend that place.
I really love spicy food, but my tolerance has gone down because I haven't had a lot of it in the last few years. So I've been like tempering everything I've been eating with Dave's super spicy, super hot red sauce to the point that now it's like, oh, it's like ketchup. It's like, okay, I'm getting back.
Yeah. Oh, And they do pakora. You should definitely try that.
Which one?
Tawa does a dish called pakora.
Oh, right, I'll write that down. Spell it Khora, like the Avatar. Pakora, I think is it's like an appetizer, like bites you dip in this chili sauce. I think I know this stuff. I'm gonna give that a shot. I'm gonna have to check that place out. I'm interested now for lunch. I know I got a discount off one of those order delivery things, so I don't have to get off my butt. So I might do that.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
Oh, and yes, Dean, for as you mentioned earlier, the whole map's been redone. I used Dungeon Alchemist for it. I was starting to use Dungeon Draft because I got them both now at this point. Dungeon Draft though, great for doing cities, I think, but Dungeon Alchemist, holy wow, that's a lot of fun to work with. So you'll get to see the results of what it all looks like from Dungeon Alchemist. I also have this whole thing saved. You can do like a 3D walkthrough through it. It's wild. I'll probably share that after we're done.
Wow, sweet. Yeah, I noticed like the 3D screenshot you showed straight away, and I was like, hang on a minute,
Yep.
I know that.
It's like we got an actual picture of a room. How the hell?
Yeah, so it's like you, because you can build it all up, and then you can take like the top-down 2D image of it.
Yep.
And it's I think it's really good for like inside spaces. Not so much about the outside yet, but
They're getting there. It's actually a lot of its random generation for fields and all that are amazing for everything except winter. Otherwise, I'd use the shit out of this with Rime of the Frost Maiden. Because there's so many random maps you need for that one, but it's like, nope, no winter, that's coming next. It's like, damn it! I was so close. But, no, I give it
So
the
what
seal.
you're saying is winter is coming?
Winter is coming. But we can't reference that franchise anymore. They burned themselves out.
Oh my god, did they ever?
Almost as bad as the Lord of the Rings new series, but we're not going to go there.
none of you's being suckered back in by the House of the Dragon.
I have.
No, thank you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's the?
So again, I'm not the person to ask for opinions because I'm very easygoing. Like, I'm very annoyed like the way Game of Thrones ended, but I've also restarted watching that, knowing the disappointment that awaits.
Ooh. No, you're I know what the sort of endings will boil you is like the ending to Sopranos.
I don't think I've ever watched it, honestly.
It ends with a fade to black at a climactic moment. They're all sitting down at a restaurant with all the enemies around, and all hell's is gonna break loose, and they fade to black. Series ends.
I mean that's what Game of Thrones did.
Kinda. This was very artistic, so it went either way. But I touch on a touchy subject.
Yeah. You know, but it's really like Matt Smith plays one of the Targaryens, and it's really funny because like you see the Doctor Who in him show up. I haven't watched him in many other things, so it's probably just his mannerism as a person. But it's really funny to think of. Like I really enjoy it. Like, but again, like you see Doctor Who, it's almost like the Doctor trying to be someone else.
Yeah, honestly, if you do what you got to do what Tennant did. Oh, I played the Doctor. Better play big bad villains for a little while. Steps into one of the villain's shoes. He goes, "Hey, you guys want to see me get real creepy?"
Yeah.
That's how I look at him. Matt Smith pretty good though, but I haven't seen him in much. But that's
it's literally the way he moves around is very.
Oh, he's Alien Man,
unique.
Twiggy guy. He's like Alien Trevor from Trailer Park Boys. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like it's the way he moves is very different, so it is pretty entertaining to watch.
He's got a pretty smooth thing going on. He's an alright guy. I miss him as a doctor. He was a great doctor.
He was.
Yeah, I feel I'm glad he's finally been in something that's landed, because he's been trying to break into something popular for a while. Like he tried with Terminator Genesis, which obviously wasn't very good. Then I think he was in Morbius.
Yeah. He like shows up. I'm gonna act my ass off, and they're like, "It's a flop. Don't worry, my friend." He's like, "Damn it."
Yeah, so I think he's finally seems to be in something that's actually sticking. He's going to get at least a season or two out of it.
I like him as an actor. I'd like to see some of him, because fingers crossed. Actually, I'm waiting for the video game Ark I've played for years. I'm waiting for the animated series to come out, because the big, bad, long-standing villain in the series, his voice is done by Tennant.
Ark is dinosaurs, right?
Yep. I still have a private server up and running if anybody ever wants to play that game.
He's like, please play with me, please.
Kinda.
Ark's on sale.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure when I was looking.
It's kind of like if you ever played the game Rust, like that, except with dinosaurs, and I have a private server. You don't necessarily even have to play with me, it's just there for you to play on. So you could make a base and be like, no one can touch me here.
Dean, are you trying to talk or are you talking to Fergus?
I'm talking to Fergus, he's been an utter arse.
Oh no. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you weren't talking to talk to the guys and.
I'm eating crisps and he's pawing at me.
What a little fucker.
It's so silly when you mute yourself and keep talking and don't realize. No one would ever make that mistake.
Oh, I had like 3 extra things now, so I know when I'm doing it.
I do it all the time.
I have to not, because I'll start to talk and be like, and then you walk into the shit, I'm muted. And then you walk into the... Oh, my word. And I just got an alert on my phone. And while I'm giving that a read, why don't we jump back into the game? You all let me know what y'all gonna do. But I'm gonna turn the clock back 15 minutes, because we went on a tangent. It happens. That's half the fun.
No.
Half the reason we do this is for the social interaction, let's be honest.
Yes.
Also, real quick, what is Mavis from?
Isn't here Mavis? What?
And what is Mavis from?
I do not know what Mavis is.
Oh, I thought you did your multi-automated vehicular instrument utility systems as something.
Mavius, gotcha.
Oh, Mavius. Yeah. So what is that?
Didn't that guy in the maze say that?
Yeah, something like definitely some Mavius not found.
Okay.
I think. So we talked
I can
about
ask.
Morbius, and I just anytime someone says something, I just can't get it.
I can ask Siri if she knows what Mavius is.
Well, no. So we know it's like the control room. I'm just like, I'm wondering if he pulled that acronym from somewhere else, Final Fantasy or something.
Hey, no. Sorry, I had to do it. That's one of my own.
Okay, I was just curious.
And now it has 2 ways to be pronounced, just like Asmodeus' name.
It'll be in the next source book, no doubt.
Oh my word!
Whoever the Wizard Spy is.
Yeah.
They come in, they're like, "We liked your campaign. We're gonna polish it up and we're gonna do a post. You're gonna help us with it?" And I'll be like, "Yes." We're just gonna change the names of everything, and it's like, shit. But Julian, as Flux asks, the heck is Mavius? It indicates connection established, connection live. Mavius found in this area.
In this room, Siri?
No, like up at it's the control room.
He's pointing again. Oh, yeah. No, it's okay. I'm super zoomed out, and purple doesn't show up very well against black.
Yeah.
Oh, red's not gonna help much either.
I can see the red a bit better, actually.
It is.
Predator vision. Yeah.
So I'm just finishing my soup, you guys. My nose is so stuffy. Those friggin' kids made me sick.
Predator
so mad. Ooh, cool. Just looks like somebody took like white noise filter and like overlaid it on top of your dungeon.
And that exactly. I also got underwater. Yep.
Oh.
I can also go super evil and be like, oh, lightning. I'm not sure if it's gonna show though, because the map's so darn big. Oh, it's just flashes.
I can see it. Yep, that's cool.
Old film. We're playing D&D back in the 60s now.
Old film would be brilliant for a Call of Cthulhu game.
Oh,
Yes.
there's a few other ones. Bloom. Suddenly everything is shiny. You find that treasure room, I might use that.
It's the mid 2000s FPS. Bloom.
Oh my word. Old school is the best school. So, back at this area here, as you find out that the mask tells you connection live established with Mavius and shows you the location. Slightly in front of the Guardian's chamber, so, you know.
Any information about the Guardian Siri?
Your armor shuts down and stops moving.
Am I stuck?
Turns back on, says, apologies, system update complete.
Oh, Jesus.
That's Mac. Oh, I'm kidding, of course. That doesn't actually happen, but I couldn't help myself because, you know, we've all been there. That sucked mid-fight. Flux just stops moving, then just keeps going. And people are like, what happened? Lag. Leave me alone. Had low TCP/IP ping. Ping was so bad. 998 ping. What is this? Flux starts teleporting.
Reconnecting.
5,000 lag. Flux teleports across the map. We know how this works, but
God,
inquiring,
if she could teleport at will, that'd be terrifying.
inquiring about the Guardian unfortunately doesn't prove any further information. Just states its location.
Okay, that's fine. I figured that's probably... It probably wouldn't tell me anything, but I just figured I'd ask.
Does not hurt to ask.
Well, are there any doors in this room? Like, specifically around here?
There's none at the top. There is one directly to the south, a big double door, and another door to the east in this room.
You guys want to go east or south?
I reckon we open both doors and see which tunnel's most inviting.
We can also, if we're trying to beeline it to the control room, I suspect east is probably our better bet.
That's what I would think too, but I don't know.
I will also point out, for
Never
Flux's
assume
sake-
anything in Alan's game.
That's fair.
The tunnels are especially twisty.
Fergus, he's licking. I'm trying to hold my iPad and you keep licking my fingers.
It might be one of those days, Jillian.
No, he's okay. It's just he was laying down and then I wiped his eye boogies and now he thinks I have them on my hand, but I don't. I just have kimchi on my hand, which is gonna be spicy for you, buddy. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Alan? I feel like you were gonna say something and then I interrupted you with Fergus nonsense.
Where you've requested a few bits of info from Siri. You also notice the mask now shows that there are no longer intruders detected, and all alarm systems are actually off.
Oh. I think I accidentally camouflaged this, you guys.
Well, that's a relief. Hopefully it means we can move a bit more freely.
Well, what y'all doing?
Don't fucking know, Alan. South or east?
Well,
What do you
why don't you
besides
just
me?
open up both doors and just see what's beyond either?
Go for it.
Well, what I'm gonna
So
do
we'll open
first...
the east door. Oh, somebody's already there.
Oh, I'm unlocking them, don't mind me.
Oh, okay.
Well, as you go to the doors and give them a grab, as Jade may very well be running like, oh, wait, no! They actually are not locked and open without any trouble. The door to the east leads to the familiar tunnels. I swear they're familiar. Pretend they've always looked like so cool. To the east leads to familiar tunnels, and to the south... Well, feel free to pop it open. You see in front of yourselves yet another rather unique room, this one filled with alchemical supplies as well. However, this room has 8 of those cloning tanks set across it, and notation book in the corner side filled with information. But what might come to your horror and dismay as you look in on this room is that the 8 chambers are not empty. Each contains the same floating body inside. And you'd recognize him anywhere.
Straken?
All 8.
Well, alrighty, guys. I'm gonna check the book, though.
The book itself contains many notes and many construction comments on how to put these together, how to make them, how they're basically emergency backups, in case the king is assassinated on the random or anything like that. It has gone further into point on them that each one has been hard-coded so that they age along with his own form. Though this is a moot point, as he also clarifies that he is now functionally immortal anyway, he no longer ages. There were some further notes that this area could be used and updated for whichever king is presently ruling over the city at any given time, as an ultimate backup plan in order to secure and hold rule against chaos. But looking out across it, all you see are 8 copies of his body, near the time when Conqueror would have fallen.
Well, feels awkward seeing him naked. Just floating about in a tank.
Fortunately, this isn't any weird version of Dungeons & Dragons where I have to roll for those stats. We're gonna go with the angelic version of naked here, that you look and you go, wow, that's impressive. I don't see nothing.
It's just that wherever in a tank amp speed is just, well, that's where the bubbles are.
Part of me, though, is reminded of, like, Star Wars right away. Back to tank.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm picturing. So there's the book that details its backups for the king. Is there anything else in like the other desks down there, or
Mostly tools and components used in order to create these cloned forms. And to keep them going, to keep them refreshed. The middle of the room has a small cylindrical device that spins around every now and again to point, as if scanning each one of the tubes before moving on. An automated system in order to keep things running nice and fresh. You'd also notice by the time you're done finished reading the book that due to the fact that this is meant to be able to pass from one successor to the next in the kingdom, there is in fact a flush button. Notations showing that these cylindrical tubes are connected to an underground feed-out area where they can be dumped, and the bodies will be directly exposed to raw void energy from the crystals that power the city. They'll be completely and utterly obliterated in moments.
So we could abort them now.
But should we? Because if we remember right, there is no body for Dusty to come back to. This would be his body, would it not? So could we not use one to give his soul a new body?
Yep. Well. Yeah. We'd also leave a back door open for
Evil Dusty. Right.
Yeah. But this whole thing has been to save Dusty, and there's a side effect, the multiverse. So we probably do want the bodies left.
I think at this point you can get away with saying the verse, though.
The verse.
Not quite so multi anymore.
Yeah. That's like if we win, will it be restored or will it just be us?
Time will tell. I hope.
If time is left intact.
Hence the I hope.
Yeah. The laws of time are mine.
Okay, timeless child.
That's a David Tennant quote.
Yeah, I know, I had to burn it with another one.
You guys know that David Tennant is trending on Twitter right now?
For good reason?
I have no idea why. Just saw his name pop up.
Probably because he's David Tennant.
I'm a pig.
Occasionally he's just like, I'm irrelevant again. What, did you do anything? No, I'm just relevant. Don't worry about it.
So, I think he's just trending right now. Photo of him with him, an interview with him. It's his charismatic nature. He just looked at the camera this morning, probably took a selfie, put it up there, and everyone's like, oh my god, it's David Tennant! I mean, if I knew the selfie was there, I would have went and looked at it. But, you know, whatever happened, I missed it. What's going on with David Tennant? I can't... He actually seems like a nice person, and that's the main reason I like to root for David Tennant so much, so you know. Sometimes you see these great actors and then you find out they're a-holes. But a lot of them aren't. A lot of them really aren't. I suppose someday we meet our heroes and we come to learn that we should just stick to the TV shows we like them on. When you ask them for an autograph and they say, F off, asshole, you're 30. I'm like, hey. I swear my feelings aren't hurt.
Feelings? What are those?
Alrighty, so back in the form to the game, you have a decision on what to do with these clones.
I feel like just closing a door over. Walking the other way. Yeah, let's just leave that there.
Flux is like ready in the hallway. Not my problem.
That's what I want to do, but it's probably not what we should do.
The other thing is, if all these tubes are full and all the clones are here, that means he's alive somewhere.
Oh, Siri, is there any life forms in this room? And I'll, look at the room where the tubes are to see if she picks them up as living.
Have you ever asked one of your smart home devices a question and it accidentally gives you a wicked long answer and you get halfway through and you're like, shop. It's essentially doing that as it goes into theological debate on whether or not clones can be considered living or not living or inert or non-inert or etc. And, you know.
They have vital signs? Do they have heartbeats?
Nope. They're in permanent stasis. Though they can grow and have applications, they are frozen in a moment.
What if we... This is crazy. What if we destroy all of them but put one, in our bag of holding or in our portable hole?
Would it survive outside of the...
What, is a test tube attached to things, or
So,
how difficult would it be to move the whole thing? If it doesn't have a heartbeat...
These metal canisters over on the side would be able to contain one of the forms for 120 days.
Yeah.
They're a bit more
do you-
maneuverable. Sorry, John.
Sorry.
Oh, and on that
Sorry.
note, John, for your clone, because you always want to go one, there are 2 of those dishes here. This will provide everything you need to keep a clone good for 120 days.
How long has it been since I got my first clone?
And it was younger than you, too, which was great. Your character's like, my knees don't pop no more. From the magic mirror that provides clones. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Sorry, John.
So it only actually it matures after 120 days, so that's when you can go into it. But like,
a mature clone placed inside of those canisters lasts a further 120 days without further stuff. There are notes on how to store a clone.
It doesn't actually say like how long. Like, it doesn't give you a time frame how long they can be stored in the things.
Yep,
so
usually it's build the storage, toss them in, it's there for eternity. These ones can only do 120 days, but they're reusable.
Yeah. No, what I was going to say is the reason these clones are still here, even though that incarnation of Dusty died, was the gods probably destroyed the soul. And again, it's the soul that leaves the body, like leaves the former being and goes to the new body. So if the soul is not free to move to another body, they won't ever awaken. Because someone was asking, like...
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
But that also begs the question of, can the soul from our Dusty of our universe go into this one? Because would this not be an other universe?
I see what you're saying.
For Jade.
What?
Give me an Arcana check for Jade. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know John's stats are through the roof on it, but your character gets the temp, and I'm sure if it doesn't work, you'd walk over with the book and be like, what about this? But with a 22, you can discern that there is enough commonality between the forms that, yeah, you'd be able to store his soul in one of these bodies, more than likely. Just as compatible of his own, if he was willing to move into it.
So we can keep one and throw the rest away. I don't know. Not sure. What are you guys thinking?
Well, Jillian, Flux was one of the first to pose the option. Do you want to have her pull a body out and toss it into one of the canisters to take with?
Well, nobody seemed to like that idea, so I dropped it.
No, it's not that we're just thinking about it.
Yeah, it was like more or less like trying to get like multiple people had questions and such. I'm sorry, we kind of lost track of that one. I don't know. Do we feel like carrying around?
So
The issue that the only issue I'm coming across is our Dusty and the evil Dusty are same person, just different different parts of the multiverse. So, by rights, both of them can enter the body.
yeah.
There's probably good theory to that, given that usually within the multiverse you have echoes of yourself across the multiverse. In the case of your friend Dusty, He was shattered to create the multiverse. These are truly all pieces of the same being. So if one could take the body, anyone could take the body. And to further prove that effect, for the rare times you peeked at that wonderful, beautiful mirror, you remember the one time you saw that he went and grabbed Dusty's body? His own obsidian form not strong enough anymore. So you know evil Dusty can take good Dusty's body.
Right.
That's sort of what made me think of that.
Yeah. And what... We don't actually know where good Dusty's soul is, do we?
The last thing that you recall from your friend Dusty was the explosion of Zariel's mighty ship, completely annihilating his physical form. From there, the Reaper would have gladly taken him on to the next world. Because I'll be honest, as those seconds ticked away as he was controlling that ship and flying it, the Reaper stood directly in front of him waiting and laughing that Dusty managed to take an extra 2 minutes to die.
And then we were told that his soul's been taken by...
At some
Like
point
it's
or
not-
another, Asmodeus leaned in and grabbed that soul. Yep. When it was passing from life to the afterlife. He made a claim on it, but that was only because he was able to. As you might recall, Dusty had to make a deal to save someone else when Lulu and everybody was dying as you all were falling off the ship that one time.
Right.
Which, you know, I got to point out, yeah, you can make a deal with the devil, and then later Big Jim came and stole your motorcycle, and everyone's like, nope, let him take it. We paid the price. This is how it works. However, that led to a small loophole that Asmodeus immediately abused, as you found out. This loophole allowed him to grab Dusty because Dusty made a deal with devils, so, you know, he was rightfully a denizen now, under the control of Asmodeus. However, the problem was, the deal was to protect and force someone else, so it's left a large legal quandary in the underworld as where Dusty's soul actually belongs. Asmodeus is, of course, clinging to that soul because he can sense the sheer raw power coming from it. And I'm sure that's not going to bite him in the ass.
So, right, and for a clone to work, presumably it needs to be in the same plane of existence, so the soul can find the body. Is that right?
The real question is going to be whether or not shards of the original caster are considered to be things that can swap to the clone, because you can only go to the clone if you're the caster.
Yeah.
You could use the body, sure, to shove a soul in there. That's a completely different matter. But to trigger the
Right.
effects of clone,
It's not the caster, but the target when you use the spell.
exactly.
Right. So, what I was thinking for Tejelian's idea is if we keep a body and flush the rest, we keep that tank in like a portable hole. If we fight Negadusty and there's no clones, then I'll have nowhere to go to. Then when we're retrieving Dusty's soul, we can bring the clone out of the portable hole so it's on the same plane of existence and use that. But
Yeah.
I don't know if that, like, that's... I have a very limited understanding of how this all works.
The question I have is, we have determined that S03e24 goes through, oh my god, reincarnation, that's the word. Right? He's born anew again and again and again for all of time, since the fact that, like, his spirit is the one that, like, holds the multiverse together. So, when he dies, Does the clone take precedence, or does the reincarnation take precedence? That's something else we don't know.
The DM just nods his head sagely. Can't say crap, but he nods his head sagely.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, John. If you're gutsy enough to carry his spellbook around,
Yeah, that's still in a thingamajigger. The thing in the bag.
Yeah, I guess you just gotta go with what we think's the best call.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flush them all. Flush all but one or two. Or leave them.
well, might be one of those things you're gonna have to put to a party vote. Whether or not to keep one of them. That's the question at this point. What's Alex's opinion? I say a party vote, but I'm pretty much just going to go through the team and see what everyone thinks. Get a solid decision on this one.
I feel like hedging our bets, keeping one body, flushing the rest, strikes me as the most sensible, I think. But then again, it is kind of sitting on the fence, but I'm really not sure. I feel like leaving either extreme will come back to bite us somehow.
Maybe. You know me, I've always got like 50 different plans and plots up my sleeves, but...
Yeah.
How about Jade? What's he thinking? Keep a spare on ice?
Leaving this to the smarter ones and going to that treasure room. That's what Jade's thinking.
He's hopping on his heels like, okay, no, I'm going with Flux. We're getting into the hallways. What about Flux's opinion? I think you were leaning on it at first, but after the discussion, Jillian.
I'd stick with my original plan.
All right. How about Nimbar?
6 of one, half does the other.
Alright, so the team has voted to keep one of the bodies on ice, so to speak. Who's gonna take it out of the chamber?
I will.
Then as you pop the top open without any trouble, you can reach a hand in, grab the body, which unfortunately, thanks to the clone ooze, comes out in ooze, not in liquid, so you know it's got that horrible sticky schlop, which is also inside of the bucket you toss it into as well. Remember any of the slime toys from the 90s, 2000s? Just like that.
Yeah.
I will seal the thing I put it into.
Closing the top down and locking into place. Easy as can be. It's got a bit of weight, but it will go into a bag of holding without any trouble.
I'll shove it in my bag of holding.
And you successfully deposited one of the bodies. Straken Clonevore. Well,
I'll start raiding the rest of them.
so in order to get the rest gone, the center pillar has a button on the inside of it. Giving that a push will dump all 8 at once.
Okay, I'll walk over to the button and look at the party.
Yeah.
I feel Bellamy's present as I press the button.
And as you give a push down on that button, a hatch opens in the bottom of each one of the cloning chambers, dropping the liquid and the bodies down as they fall into a large stone chamber down below. I could give you an example of what happens to them, but I don't think anyone needs the nightmare fuel. But your poor characters, any of them with the guts to look down, would have to endure the sight.
You know, did I ever tell you guys that we used to fight over going for drives with my dad to take bodies to the crematorium in Halifax before there was one in New Glasgow?
Oh, that's actually kind of awesome, though.
Because we knew. Well, only one person could come because my dad's work van only had the 2 front seats in, and he took the other seats out and had like a piece of plywood down so he could fit the stretcher in.
Oh my.
And yeah, Flux is not really that phased, honestly. She won't look, but like, well, just compost, right?
It's a bit of a gruesome process, you know, microwave. So, like...
Oh, is it the microwave?
Yep, the energy radiating down basically acts like a modern-day microwave on them, and it's this... Ooh. You think Attack on Titan can get gruesome? Nope, I can't describe this without getting in trouble on Twitch, which is why I say we don't have to see it or imagine it, but your poor characters, anyone looking. Except Flux, you just lean over like, ugh, and move on. The stuff
upsetting.
Honestly, one cannonball to a soldier standing beside you on a battlefield, that's going to be just as nasty. So, I can completely understand, given the history that of battle that your character would have seen. And given the history in this campaign that you have seen. Now that I stop and think about it, I am the source. Oh my. Well, that does take care of it, though. You've flushed the 8 of them, and they are completely eradicated in the process. And on a note for the rest of the dungeon, the anti-magic locks that were built into the doors have all been disabled, but this also means that the locks themselves have been disabled as well. You no longer have locked doors to worry about unless I specifically say that door is locked, you know, like the big important ones.
How do you spell Kavor?
Kavor.
Okay, that's what I thought. Gotcha. I just, in my haversack of holding, I just wrote a Kavor clone with a K.
That's fair. I had said it way originally when the campaign first started, like way back when he first joined the team, to Avernus. But the last name Kavor is the true name of dragon. In Draconic, in my games. I don't actually think there is a Draconic translation language, but way back then I even said it. Never said what the first name translated to, though. But the last name was a Draconic one.
Do we know?
Nope.
Okay.
But even back then I was sowing the seeds of discourse.
Yeah.
I like a long con, as some of you probably have guessed by now.
No, really?
I still got a couple up my sleeves, too. That's the best part.
That doesn't surprise me.
Shoot, Bellamy almost derailed the campaign on me on one just with a fluke, and I was like, no! But I'm not saying anything more, because you might go looking. Anyway, pretty hallway now stands in front of you, with lit torches along the walls, providing light as you peer your way through. You'll see them here, but I didn't actually put light sources on them, because given how large the map is, I don't want to tank no one's system. I'm actually actively turning off lights in areas as we move on, just so it'll stay running smooth. But the beautiful stone hallway set before you with a very minimal pile of decoration. I'm going to move your minis all over to the door here. However, as we have been doing, I'm more than willing to let things be a little easy if you wanted to run the manifest mind through areas, and then we catch minis up as we go. The way we've been doing.
Take a few cautious steps out.
Your footsteps echo across the warm halls, though nothing else seems to really happen as you make your way through. Towards the north, of course, is a dead end that you can clearly see, and towards the south, your path branches in one of 2 directions. A dead end, which is at the very edge of your vision. You'll see it better in 5 more feet. A path to the east, and a path to the west. And as Not Nimbar flies forward, the path to the east has multiple turning variances as you look down a beautified hallway with a nice armored statue. The sort of stuff you've seen already throughout the whole dungeon, I swear. It's like once a DM has time to prep, things look pretty. And again, another dead end. However, what might catch Not Nimbar's eye is that there is, in fact, something at the end of that hallway. Standing large, strong, and tall is one of the juggernauts, though it doesn't seem to take any notice of Nimbar.
Oh, buddy.
The head kind of blinks at it a few times and then just slowly backs away.
And as it moves through over the next corner, probably can't help but notice the pair of enforcers walking down that hallway.
It will let the others know.
So what y'all doing?
Well, I mean, we got got to go. I guess we'll, I don't know, walk softly. I mean, stealth seems kind of, like there might not be much to it, seeing as how it's a bare corridor, so you just got to take the plunge and.
So Alec walks around the corner to face off against the Kintyre enforcer?
Yep. Just stop and look at it.
As you do, it continues to move forward, though not running at a standard pace.
Don't do anything.
It walks up to your character. Walks around them, in fact, as Nimbar said. Walks around him as well, the eyes turning to look towards either of you as it makes its way by, continuing its patrol. I mean, I'm really tempted to have it look at Jade point and just start screaming and attack because you can sense the treasure lust, but no. It would seem the enforcer takes no notice other than noticing you before continuing on.
Just let out a big sigh of relief.
Okay. Well, that's good. So as long as we don't seem too threatening, they're willing to let us go.
I will say, however, another fun one for Jillian on this. As you walk by, the hazmat suit tings, and just enough to get your attention as you look towards one of the enforcers walking by. It actually says K-ENF- and then a serial number in the 10,000s. To give you some idea of just how many of these things there must be. Who needs a standing army when you've got an entire populated city of machinations, which has had millennia to sit and build more?
Oh boy.
Whether or not you share that information with the party from Flux is up to you.
Yeah, I will let them know.
And the one reason you probably assume that they're sequential serial numbers is because the next enforcer you come with is literally one number higher, which is the one down this hallway. But on the plus side, you can assume that if you see them now, don't worry, they're not going to attack you. You'll know if combat breaks out, but for the most part, the mask has told you No intruders detected. Place is on casual.
Let's just enjoy a good thing while it's lasting.
Agreed.
As not Nimbar makes its way near. Oh, is the wall a little too long there? It is. Just a moment. As not Nimbar makes his way along, the DM quickly corrects the map. And you can see a path leading to the south, directly in front of the statue, which also contains multiple splits as well.
So that's what we see in a straight line. Anyone got any thoughts?
Dead ends, curves, corners, and multiple paths, but ignoring the ones that don't lead in this direction. The helm will always tell you which direction will take you to the crystal, sorry. At this point, to Mavius directly.
Huh. Can I check this little nook for any hidden spots?
Yep. And Jillian, to make your life easier, going forward whenever you make it to a turn in the road, I will indicate to the party, just automatically, whether or not it will bring you closer or further to your end goal.
Okay.
And with a 29 on perception, you find there is a hidden panel at the back of this area. Flicking it open, you find one of those mystical giant diamond crystals into the wall, the storage containers.
Alright, so another Lulu lunchbox. Right.
The next intersection, I will state, heading to the right is considered farther away from Mavius' chamber. Heading to the north will take you closer.
I'm repeating all the information back for everyone, just so everyone knows.
I figure this way we're not constantly doing the, hey Siri, and then I tell you, and then you go back and forth and all that. I'll cut the minutes out for the generic thing, because I don't want to give anybody a headache.
I appreciate that, thank you.
As Not Nimbar continues to spin around, following the direct path proves twisty and turny.
For the record, if anyone wants to go one of the other ways, please let me know. Otherwise, I plan on trying to beeline it.
Yeah, I think so. What? I've lost track of how far, but we had 3 days or something to do this? I
You
can't
had
remember.
a horrible vision on the night of the 20th of Nighthall of the entirety of Waterdeep being completely obliterated.
Right, yeah, so I'm happy with beelining it because we're on the last day of the countdown.
No, we are looking at. I will stop in front of any of the other hallways to see if there's anything interesting.
Well, as you find, you're in a long, twisty, turny one now that continues on, well lit, with statues up. And of course, I'll play catch up with anybody's minis as we go, if you choose not to move them along. And as for skipping my rooms, yep, that's okay. Yep.
Oh, make us feel bad.
I had to do it. As you continue on, the path branches to the west, And of course, bending southwardly again, but no traps triggering anymore. I'm sorry, Dean, I think you're trying to say something. I keep cutting you off.
And I just said, make us feel bad, why don't you?
Oh, yeah. Mission accomplished. Get the brighter shirt on now. Even got new lantern in the background.
Are the statues all of the same person?
Yeah, it is. He's just happier in the second shot. The first one, you can see he's died inside.
I mean the statues were passing in the corridors.
Generic soldier-style statues. They look pretty,
Right.
But they don't have too much sustenance. Now, I will remind as you go that I will tell you the absolute fastest path. This would be the one with the least number of extra steps. Because as you head up to the north, you see the statue of a mighty lion. 2 of them, in fact. Following the line to the left is indicated not the fastest. GPS points to the right with its arrow, the eastwardly path. If you want to continue.
Just quickly look down the hall.
Twisty, turning, multiple
Lions.
paths.
Goes from soldiers to lions. Do you think there was a zoo on here?
Do you think he's lying to us?
Ouch.
Where's a different statue again?
I just took 4 points of psychic damage. And then an extra 10 from remembering it. Did I accidentally delete the dude off the map somehow?
What dude?
one
Yes, you
sec.
did.
Wow, how did that happen? 1 second here.
You decided that he wasn't good enough for you.
I'll put you back where the lions were, though. Yeah, I believe you were. 1 second here. And there you go.
Well, no, I mean, he wouldn't have gone that far because Alex decided to go this way. And
I was just literally just seeing what the thing. I should be able to catch back up with the team at like a quick jog.
You do see a memorial over this way, that one thing you saw, which was just laid out to the soldiers who perished during the Great Dragon Wars. Nothing too crazy beyond that, though. And when I say I'm going to catch the other party members up, honestly, what I'm going to do is delete your tokens and put them back on the map. But the path continues to twist and turn, and though it looks great, the only challenge it provides you right now is which directions you ultimately want to go as you travel. Because as you come up to this next spot, you'll have a rough decision to make, as there's a single door at the end of a small hallway. But the systems are indicating that going to the west, going past this door, is the fastest way to the end.
I mean, let's open the door at the very least, see what's in there, right?
Ah, this door is in fact locked. And I'm just moving everyone's minis over to save a minute.
Well, now we need to know what's in there. I mean, Jade, really, I'm going to ask you, do you want to see what's in there? You're the one who'd open the door.
I think he's already unlocking it.
Check for traps.
A 1.
It's still a 28.
You don't find any traps with a 28 on this firmly locked door. And no magical barrier either, so you get advantage on your check to unlock it. With a 41,
Insane.
no trouble unlocking the door. However, I'm leaving it locked for a moment for a simple reason. Are you opening it?
I think we got it now. You
Yeah.
can't just ignore that 41.
Could you imagine unlocking the door and then just walking away?
Oh my word.
Doesn't Jade do that most of the time? Just unlock it, walk away so someone else can open it?
Okay, I mean like the entire party just walk away.
Fair. So who's opening said door?
I will.
As Jade pops the door open, you're greeted with a very familiar sight. A solid curtain of black. Almost looks like smoke inside of there, but you can see absolutely nothing beyond this curtain of darkness. Magical vision and dark vision do not permeate it. You've sensed and felt this before, of course.
Oh,
That's
it's
why I
like
left the door locked. If I open the door, you'll actually see what's in the room.
Okay.
Yeah. What was what was this from again, guys? I'm being
So
dumb.
The Mad Mage dungeon. One of the bad guys was had a smoky darkness that he
Okay.
could only see with true sight in there, and we took some in a jar. I don't know if we still have it or we lost it.
The sheer pure density of this is enough to throw off blind sight. Jade has no idea what's beyond the front door. He senses nothing in the immediate area in front. So either it's empty
Alright.
or...
Go, my little friend. Be free. I'm sending that number through.
And he sees nothing, just darkness as he walks past. Though you hear a voice speaking to not Nimbar. This isn't a place for you. This is a place to test your fears, where only mortals dwell.
I will I'm gonna tell the others.
Yep.
Words are heard.
Huh. Now,
I'm very curious. I'm tempted to stick my head through unless anyone has any strong objections.
I was gonna say that every sensible part of me is saying, absolutely go the other way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, agreed.
Part of me is thinking, testing fears. Surely we've came so far. What's not been tested yet?
Alright, I'm gonna stick my head through.
The head first maneuver is very brave, though. I will say. I thought you maybe start with a hand or something.
Well, no. That way you guys can pull me through, right? I need to see.
Well, as Nimbar places his head into the darkness, the rest of his form slowly disappears.
Well, that didn't work, guys.
And
Well,
Nimbar is entirely surrounded by darkness. But before I say what happens next to him, let's see what the party does.
Alec just looks at Nimbar's slowly dissipating form and goes, well, can't regenerate that. Let me see. I guess call out, shout, see if he can hear us. Nimbar?
Can I hear it?
Nope. Your character is presently surrounded entirely in darkness. You feel almost like you're floating midair if it wasn't for solid ground under your feet. But we're basically doing as what happens in the moments as this happens. Is anyone else going to venture into the darkness at the same time? Or are you all just going to wait this one out a few minutes?
Good question. Because
It helps me to determine whether or not I'm going to message John and say what happens or say it out loud.
well, we've seen people almost die in under minutes, so would we really just wait at this stage?
Jade would go in.
Yeah, I think
You guys do know I have a clone,
Oh, right.
and Jade is the one holding the clone.
I think Alec would step. If he can't hear him, call out to him, then I think he'd be like, oh well, no one left behind, and probably go in.
Well, Jade and Alec are both stepping in at the same time. What's Flux doing? She gonna sit down and be the voice of reason? Nope, I'm gonna wait for them to come back.
She's gonna let me see where I'm at right now.
I pulled your character up
I'm
to the
not-
map. I'll do a pull on everybody to save you a minute. There you go.
And can you describe again what they're stepping into?
Darkness. Completely
It's darkness.
blocking all form of vision. Nimbar only
Okay.
tried to stick his head in and his whole body was teleported inside.
Is there something I could tie a rope to?
You could anchor it down. There's the lights. You could try that, by all means.
As quick as I can, I'll anchor down a rope and tie it around my waist and go with them.
We did send the manifest mind in, and it said it's not a place for the manifest mind. It's only for mortals to test their fear.
And indeed, the manifest mind doesn't see anybody as you go in, and nor did you see it. And one after the other, you jump in, disappearing, while Flux quickly throws up a rope saying, "What the hell is wrong with you guys? You have got to take precautions. Do we know better? We know better." And then everybody's going, and you're like, "Ah, shit, Bellamy's probably in there too," as you run in behind.
So I have a question. I take it it's like even my the starlight that comes off my starry form is words. You're right, John. Are difficult. I don't
It's
know
not
what's...
illuminating anything.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. I don't know what words I was trying to get to, but those will do. Thank you very much.
Don't worry, it's words I heard.
Well, everything, no light. As each of you step through into the darkness, everyone roll me a d20 flat.
Oh.
Okay. I don't know what that number means, but okay.
All right.
Okay,
my.
this.
Wait.
I don't.
Who's
I think I. Sorry, I don't know who rolled the first one, but I'm sure it was the second one that I rolled.
I think that was me.
Okay, so
You
Nimbar's
rolled
got
my
a-
7 by accident? Okay.
So Flux
I
has an
think-
18, Dan has a 7.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, this is really funny. We managed to roll in the order we went in.
So, and that's actually works kind of perfect. As you all walk into the room, none of you see each other and you find yourself in an area of sheer darkness. Those of you familiar with the arcane arts now recognize that you have been set in a demiplane inside the demiplane. Inception! This area sealed in and of itself. And each of you experience the exact same thing, though the three of you, and yes I said three, cannot see each other. I'll tell you which three once I'm done with the description. Because a man approaches you from the darkness, the only other thing you can see clear as day, as a slow smile creeps upon their face and an arm wraps around your shoulder. "Welcome, friend. I see you seek to test yourself." And they bring their hand up in front of their face as they say, "My name is Barbas, the Fear Demon." And they look at their hand and then look towards your character. And, Dean, what is Alex's absolute greatest fear, would you say?
Oh, that's a good question.
You're going to need to think about that. As is Jade, as is Nimbar. The three of you are experiencing the exact same thing. And anyone who watched Charmed will know this character, and I'm doing a direct homage to him. Yes, indeed. Barbas, the Fear Demon. Straight out of Charmed. That's exactly what he did on that show.
I think.
I don't mind.
Alex's biggest fear would be to be I guess similar to like what happened to Huron, like rendered useless, like disabled in some way and forced to watch like his tribe be like wiped out while he couldn't he physically couldn't intervene, I think.
Alrighty. And John, you were saying you had one for Nimbar?
Oh yeah, So Nimbar's greatest fear has already come true once. His greatest fear now is it happening again, which was his magic going out of control and burning down his home, which is why he left home.
Alrighty.
Which is why he's like very opposed to using fire magic.
Very much fair. It's also why he keeps getting snuck into your stuff.
Yeah.
The universe, well, Sardior, very mad. It's like, well, I'm going to pick on the gnome because I can. Gnome's like, I got all the spells. It's okay, bro. And Dan, what about Jade?
That's a good question.
And Jillian, you might be wondering, okay, what makes me special? Well, here you go. Because your character is experiencing the same thing. The demon wraps an arm around your shoulders as he brings up a hand with a smile on his face. But you see that smile slowly fades away as he closes his fist, looks at your character somewhat with a hint of concern, and just nods his head once and says, okay, even for me, that's too much. You win. And he slowly fades away along with the darkness. For whatever Flux fears most is so incredibly fearful, even a fear demon wouldn't touch it. You know, kind of works. Flux is a bit of a badass, so... I'm just wondering what sort of horrific monster Flux would have seen that she now fears. But, as the one who rolled the highest, your fear was too much for the fear demon.
Okay.
Your character gets a free pass on this one and doesn't have to struggle through the next bit. Dan, any ideas?
No, I'm at a complete loss.
I know what it is. Every time he touches a magic item, the magic disappears.
Oh, I think I know what I'll use. So, Jillian, I'm going to tell you what you win as the highest roller. The darkness that surrounds this room slowly fades away, and you find yourself simply standing in the middle of it. There are 3 tables directly in front of you, and on them, you see Lincoln, Blinken, and Nod. Your friends are laying out on them, the 3 that have been affected, quite soundly resting.
Where is my token? There it is. Never mind.
Had to uninvisible ya. As you're all resting there, Nimbar, we'll start with your character. Your character is at home, with family. You have the feeling that you've won, that everything has been good. And except when your character reaches a hand out and grasps onto one of your cousins or some extended family member, they turn to solid gold. It only takes a few moments before your character realizes they have the Midas touch. No food, no drink, no nothing. You soon find yourself completely isolated and alone. Gives me a wisdom savings throw. With advantage, however. Dean. Alec is also home with his people, his tribe. He's an old man now. He's seen so much of the world, even despite how old he can actually grow. So many things he's done and so many tales he has to share, but it's one fateful evening, while calling upon his starry form and shooting arrows into the sky, that something goes wrong. And the power overflows beyond him, tearing through, as he becomes a living embodiment of the sheer force of nature's destruction. Despite his best efforts, he's unable to stop as he begins to destroy his very home. Give me a wisdom savings throw. And Dan. Jade wakes up in a pile of golden coins. And as he looks around himself, he notices he's chained entirely, unable to move and unable to pull himself forward. These magical chains beyond even his incredible capacity to undo locks. Alec drops inspiration on his save. And you can see around yourself that the coins are flowing out of the chamber you're in and into chambers around you, each of them with your friends inside, as it slowly begins to fill up against them, and there's nothing your character can do. Give me a wisdom savings throw. Alright. The willpower, however, in you three are strong, even with your fears taken from you and applied to your friends. I figured give Jade the Midas touch. That's the best thing I could think for his fear at that point, Dan. Money you could never use, all the power in the world gone useless and spoiled on you in an instant. And isolating you. It's the only thing I could think of off the top of my head for a fear for your character that would work. But, as you all have passed your wisdom savings throw, you don't need Flux to come and try to shake you awake to give you a second roll at it. Rolling under 20 would have. The three of you pass this check and come to in this strange alchemic area. On top of that, for surviving through the heinous act of your friend's own fears, everyone receives the effect of the Bless spell. So the next time any of you make an attack roll or a savings throw, you get add a d4 to the attack roll or savings throw. No end on that. Lasts until the next time you need to use it. So try to keep that in mind. And that's your big gift for having to see through your friend's deepest fears.
But I don't because I...
You get it too. Since
Oh,
they
do
passed,
I?
you also get it. Your character
Okay.
was too badass to be scared. They just patted you on the back and said, "Don't hit me." You know what I mean?
Right. So
No.
what did you say it was again? We're under the effect of Bless?
Yep. I'll just put it up in chat, just so you have the info on it. Gives you a d4 on an attack roll or savings throw.
How long will it last for? The usual 1 minute?
This one's indefinite until the next time anyone has to do a check.
Oh, so we get to use like a one-use Bless, basically.
Yep. For overcoming your fears and actually taking them on in the first
okay.
place, I give you a smidge of a reward.
Okay.
I will state, though, beyond that, the chests in this room mostly just contain detritus at this point. The clothing and items in them long since worn and destroyed, and the book at the end of the room is a horrific ledger of everyone's fears who've ever gone through this area. You can see your names all appear inside of them. As it goes down to Flux, you all can read exactly what her fear is, and you all probably have the exact same response as the fear demon, like, "Oh my god, no, that is scary as hell. Okay, we all have a new fear." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like leaving it ambiguous, though. If you're okay with that, Jillian. Like, you could have it be something really basic. It could be a pink bunny. But whatever it was, the fear demon didn't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Gotcha.
Mostly a moment of a joke for a character, for someone to actually get a one-up on an enemy instead of every single time they're like, "Oh, I got you." This time it's, "I apologize," and they leave.
If we go back, so it's got a room dedicated to it, so they must have. Do we see evidence of them intending for this fear demon to be here?
It seems to be, for all intents and purposes, made like that. Like I said, they kept a ledger of all the people who've been through.
Oh, wow.
For the record, I got Jillian's fear in the Discord.
Ah, the Vorpal bunny.
Everybody watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bunnies, bunnies, it might be bunnies.
Oh my god.
Anya's greatest fear.
Oh
Dressed
my
up as
god.
Do you remember she dressed up as a bunny for Halloween? And they were like, Anya, you're supposed to dress up as something that scares you. She was like, there's nothing more scary than a bunny.
Yup. Okay, so Vorpal bunny, Flux's greatest fear. The Vorpal rabbit. I think that works. I got a theory. It could be bunnies. Oh, that's so good. Okay, well, it has been made so. One has to wonder what sort of venture Flux was on prior to this campaign, if she encountered a Vorpal bunny. Oh my word.
It's not canon. It's not canon.
Oh, that's a good. I love it. Should write a short story on that one. Flux versus the rabbit. That time I ran really fast.
You know what? I might just. It's getting to be spoopy season. I might just do like a one-shot or D&D horror take.
Oh my word.
See what I can do. I've never written horror before, but I'll give it a whirl.
I could always do a one-shot standalone adventure for when the characters were young. Have Flux there with 4 other random people, or maybe Alec, it could be hanging around, with other random people like, we're going on an adventure, guys. Apparently will take us right to level 5. And I'm like, in one battle.
That one time Flux matched Jade's speed.
She's like, I'm using Lulu's blessing. You don't have it yet. My ass, I'm out of there. Oh,
Lulu transcend time to get bless her there.
she just happened to be flying by for some reason at that point. I feel like I should give a blessing to the people way down there. Why? To make sure I still can. I might need to someday. How convenient. Oh my. Well, back on to the notes of the game. That's about all I've got for you.
Were you just about to end it?
Oh, well, we've still got about 10 minutes. A little bit.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just thought that's what you were winding up to, because you said that's about all I got for you, and I thought you were gonna say like in this session, but I think you meant in this room.
Yep, I was gonna say in this room. 10 points.
Gotcha. Sorry. Bear back.
Oh, let me unlock and open the door.
A question about the ledger. Probably not, but if I flick to the start of the book, does Straken have an entry?
He does indeed.
Ooh.
His single greatest fear. It just says, she'll never remember.
She'll never remember.
My hypothesis. Oh my guess is there's a reincarnation of Saradas out there, and she will never remember the original lives.
Yeah, my mind jumped to Saradas. She'll never remember him. She'll never remember life, or if she's in the void, she'll never remember good times. It'll be something like that.
Yeah.
The plot thickens.
Does Saradas have an entry?
Nope. Flipping through
We
the
don't
book, though,
know.
your character finds it surprising how common so many generic fears are. Spiders comes up a lot.
As who what about? No, we know who she is then. You see, we know that there was like a Queen of Blackrock, but that's Saradas. We just looked. So, do we know of anyone else?
Oh, what was the elf's name?
Elisphera?
Yes.
Didn't we conclude that was Saradas?
Yeah, but do we
I mean,
see?
it's worth looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Flipping through as you get to an entry for Elisphera. It states that her greatest fear is the collapse of everything they worked for. Unfortunately, it looks like that fear came true.
Back.
Welcome back. Dean got a little clever for a minute there. If you want to share with Jillian what you did.
Oh, I asked what Straken's fear was, and then what Ceredes's fear was. She doesn't have an entry. Straken's fear is she'll never remember. And then we looked up Elisphera, and it was the collapse of everything they've worked for and built.
Okay.
Who was the entry? What was the entry directly before ours?
Some dude named Joffrey, whose greatest fear was being poisoned.
Heyo.
Yeah. Various other mentions like that of people and random stuff. You know,
Yeah.
doesn't seem to be anything of note.
Alright, I was just purely asking that in case that someone we knew is just ahead of us and they're like a secret player in the game.
Oh. You do
Is our
see
barbarian,
an extra name, though, among yours.
our barbarian friend?
Uh-huh.
What's her fear?
Her greatest fear. Or their greatest fear. Left them in, but, you know, we'll go with female. That works. Her greatest fear, as it said on there, was being unable to stop him.
Okay, that's better than what I thought. I really assumed you were going to sit there and be like, "Oh, being forgotten."
Look, I can only pull so many tears in a session.
Something just occurred to me. Let's see. Okay, see what I think. Right. So, our barbarian friend exists and doesn't exist at the same time. Like they've been pulled somewhere, pushed somewhere.
Well, they were erased from from existence, but they're with us on
Yeah.
this adventure.
They will someday meet Sardior's wrath and be erased from existence. This has been guaranteed to you somehow. Which means the DM is really banking on his abilities to plot. Like, but you all caught me pretty hard with that one, so I had no choice.
Yeah. I think there's any connection between our barbarian friend and the sixth Thane, who was put into the void. So existed but has now never existed at the same time.
Well, I don't know.
Sometimes the pinball machine goes tilt.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't.
Like I said, it was just a thought. Just a little inkling that I don't know if it actually works or goes anywhere, but will pop up in the back of the mind there. I mean, we seem to be connected to Sardior, and why not? Who's to say we aren't connected to her as well? Who knows?
I mean, I do.
Oh, yeah. Well, having to play remote must have had a great benefit to you, Alan, seeing that you'd never have to work on your poker face.
Oh god.
You can just sit there with like a big beaming smile on your face, going ha 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 ha.
Yep.
Whereas if we're in person, you'd be like, "You don't know, don't laugh, don't smile, don't do anything."
That's half the
Pinch
reason,
aside.
actually, why my response to pretty much anything is a laugh and a smile. It's like, I like that idea. You got a good plan with that one. But is it right? I don't know.
I have a bad poker face, so I'm just gonna be bad at all of it.
Every now and again, I'll mute myself and go like, yes, mwahaha, and then unmute and be like, good. I only missed like one time, and the team was like, what? Oh my. Well, actually, we have at this point pretty much gone the time. You've got the continued path ahead, of course, with twisting, turning hallways that lead towards the center. Though if you're beelining to the exit, and I'm actually going to pause the game to save you all time, if you're beelining towards the exit to get to the confrontation and the treasure vault, we can address that next week, skipping through the rooms and all that. I get to show some pretty pictures later, so, you know. I had a real nice one. I'm going to show you what you skipped. Even did it up all fancy with the 3 dimensions.
You're the one who gave us a time constraint.
Did I?
Yes.
I implied a future that could be. I don't know about that. Look at this pretty room you skipped. I got a piano in there and a nice chair and a bathroom too. Oh well. Honestly.
I mean, it does look great, but we're facing the potential end of everything here.
Yep. Oh my word.
I didn't realise how close we were to the actual deadline that we are. I thought we'd only been like a day or so in here, but I guess we've long rested at least twice. So
Well, you know what they say. Time flies when you're having fun.
oh, this guy right here.
I'll be honest with you. If you beeline it avoiding any other rooms or anything, technically, all that would be left for you is going to be the that treasure room area and then the final room. So take that into account as you make your way through.
That's that classic thing. Like, as a player, I will want to be like if it's like a video game and it's like, we've got to hurry, the end of the world is going to happen. You're like, okay, but I got to complete in the Blitzball League for like, I don't know, 16 hours.
Dude,
and then
like at the jet start at the start of the game, I am screwed. You don't understand.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like,
that's exactly it. It's like, as a player, I want to go through each and every corner, find everything, but we can't because we have to save the things. Because consequences of actions is a thing. Bullshit, if you ask me.
yeah, it really stresses me out leaving a part of a map unexplored. Like if you're like in a Resident Evil game where, you know, the map's blue or green if you've found everything in the room, but it's like red if you haven't. All these like half cut off corridors, I'm like, absolutely not. Oh dear. But yep, like John says, our characters don't care.
They care, but like they have more pressing concerns.
Yeah.
I'll make the Dungeon Alchemist map available after I'm done.
And also, as was it worth getting attached to anything in this floating city? Because our rough plan as it is that we're gonna basically warp it into a battle zone and use it as a weapon. Maybe it's better not to know. Like, oh, remember that lovely room? Yeah, it's gone now.
The real question is, how will this ancient city, with its nigh impenetrable magical barrier that's held up for millennia now, and its incredible volley of tens of thousands of enforcers and juggernauts, along with whatever other weaponry that you have not yet found that certainly does exist there, on it, along with that massive cannon. Being that this thing's about 5 kilometers across, how's it going to fare against the small army of your old ships and those other ships from Avernus, like Bezariel's flagship? That is a question to find out when the battle actually starts.
We just got to bank on the evil versions of ourselves not taking any healing spells whatsoever.
You gotta bank on the evil versions of yourself not pulling crazy maneuvers. The only thing that saves you is I took Jade off their team.
Hey, look, it's an army of Jade.
Well, we'd never see them coming.
In some small pocket of somewhere where there's one area that was left, that's where all the jades went. And they're like, you know what? This is an awesome universe now. It's half of it is us, and we are the best. So this is going to be good. And they just opened up a bar.
Free alcohol for everyone.
Oh my word, it'd be a good time. But even think, with the 3 billion jades, 17 trillion gold would be enough that they're all still billionaires. If you spread it amongst all of them. That's more money than you have right now as players. Oh wait, no, sorry, my math is way off on that. But you know what I mean. I have a couple $1,000s each.
Yeah,
Like 10,000 or 20,000 gold each or something. It's the end of a session, my brain turned off.
I stopped knowing how to count after 1 billion, so.
Most characters would even be like, what the hell's a trillion? And Jade's like, I've heard of such a thing. It's like an 11th level.
That's in the other warehouse.
Oh my word. Well.
Wait, I didn't say that.
That's pretty much where you're beelining it to for next week, so be ready for that. Some of the final rooms as you swap your way through this area, and then take on the machinations that protect Kintyre in an effort to take it on. Because if you can get through that, after that it's back to Avernus, right? I mean, the world engines that power this city can let it traverse through the planes of existence. But at this point, I'm just teasing.
we will need to try and pick up Zariel and all that. We did promise them a lift.
They're over at the
well, if we enter the control room and change the shield so it doesn't drain angelic powers, they can just enter through the shield.
Yeah, that's true. What was it we said to Mephisto and Gargoth? So I will get in, tell you where it is.
You were told to go meet up with a shaman to get information to come back to them so they could point you in the direction of this area so you could get in. But when you made it to the shaman, you met with the alternate versions of a different world of Rhea, Zariel, and Judicator, who knew where it was. They were looking for a way in. With the two pieces combined, you didn't have to complete your deal with them. That deal's still hovering on the table. However, one deal you are most certainly still stuck to, as I will remind, is with Gargoth, as you have agreed within uncertain terms that if you become leaders of Avernus, he immediately becomes the leader of Avernus.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember now, because we're basically gonna use devil logic to say that, like, we never said when we would return with the information to Mephisto.
Mm-hmm.
So after everything's said and done, we'll just be like, there it is. You're welcome.
It didn't even get written down on paper. You'd almost think Gargoth had other plans. But beyond everything else as well, there's one other deal with the devil that you made.
Right. Well,
you all owe a favor to Asmodeus. A small favor, a tiny favor, a smidge. But has been confirmed by other devils.
Yeah.
And they're like,
it's hard to imagine that we did him a favor and we still ended up owing him a favor? Like, how?
What?
The most evil wording the DM's ever used, and the only character in the game who could have the guts to get away with doing it would be Asmodeus, because he says it is a privilege to carry my ass, and the universe agrees with him.
The thing is, we never agreed to do a favor for him. We agreed to help him home. That was the wording of the deal. And technically, the hells are his home. Therefore, we've already completed our part of the deal. That was the wording he used. I've re-listened to it many a times. He's always said home. We always agreed. When we agreed to something, we had always said we would help him home.
You do me this small favor, right? He put in a bunch of extra words to twist it around just enough that he can call in a favor. But what sort of small favor do you think he could possibly call in? You think he's going to be able to say, hey, you, attack you? No, that would never hold up. You guys basically held the door open for him, so...
But, also, like, we didn't write anything down.
Yeah.
So...
A contract that's not on paper is the hardest one to enforce on either side.
So just like he wrote his own, like he worded his own creation of of the deal, we can just like word our own. It's like, of course we did you a favour. Look how much we helped your big brother and united your family. That's such a favour to you. You're welcome.
And he'll say, I
Don't
did not
even-
ask for
don't
that. And that was a prisoner who was ostracized from our realms. If anything, you've made it worse for me.
And
That's
we
not
did
a
you the
favour.
favour
That's
of
an
healing the
inconvenience.
wounds between the family.
Tell you,
Because
tell you what, though.
Again, he had always stated that he wanted a favor. We had stated, and when we agreed, we said we would take you home if you promised we didn't have to do it. So we never agreed to the favor.
Oh, I remember the wordings, how we messed around with all of them. Asmodeus was being a jerk. It was very cleverly twisted, just enough that there's enough of a disposition on his side. He said, yeah, take me home. You do me this small favor. And they're like,
I
"What?"
mean, really, we could just hold this entire favour up just in like contract disputes. Just, it never gets done because we just argue about the terms and conditions for ages.
The honest truth, what this means, since you're all level 20, before we cut for the day, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check, as this argument's coming up again from Nimbar. Like, you know what, I really don't think we owe him nothing. Everyone can give me an Arcana check.
Oh,
With a
Wow.
37 on Nimbar,
Jeez.
you're fairly confident that if he ordered you to do something that you didn't agree with, a favor that didn't work, that enough of the wording on the loophole would at least allow you a wisdom save to resist it. But that's against the very will of a god. Because it's one thing to make deals with devils who screw around and mess with the wordings, but again, keep in mind, it was Asmodeus who you directly rubbed elbows with. And he's the worst of all of them. And who do you think would be arbitrating?
Surely he's big bro.
In comes Gargoth. It's like, my client does indeed is owed a favor. Oh god. But no, definitely. If he were to attempt to impose his will on you, you would have the opportunity to get a wisdom savings throw. After some time, of course. If they ask you to do something too heinous to against what you handle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The other flip of that, if
Yeah,
he looked
I-
at you and said, "You know what? I'm going to call in that favor. Why don't you give me a drink of that wine you've got with you?" Your character would just be compelled to do it because it's such a minor inconvenience. You just be like, "Nope, we're done. I'm free of the favor." Right? Something
we
like
do
that.
we do have some real nice bottles of booze on us. It's true.
But I'll definitely say, if he tries to call in a favor, that goes well beyond a minor favor, because he himself even said, "Oh, it's a minor favor, a small thing I might call in someday." He doesn't have
I'm
much of a
curious.
hold over yourselves, and if he does try to push his luck too far, well, you get a wisdom save, so don't worry.
I'm curious what the favor will be. But time will tell.
Oh, don't worry. It's been the exact same favor since the first day he set it up. I've had that planned in concrete. Now John really wants to know.
So, just so we're clear, I already knew you already knew.
Of course.
Like there was no if, and, or buts. That's why I said time will tell. Because you're not going to give it to me now. You're going to tell me when it's time for him to say it.
Fair.
I already know this.
And you know me with my very hidden plot stuff. It's like 3
Yeah.
years later, something comes up and it's like, was that what that was?
Considering you have said you've tried to get this deal from us multiple times before succeeding,
Oh, yeah.
it was clear you're looking for a specific favor.
But that's actually Avernus 2 in a nutshell. You try to get the players under someone's thumb because it builds that suspense. But, I mean, the big dog himself showing up. He tried to challenge to a fight and he did a few other things like that. They all failed miserably, but that one worked. He's like, I'll appease to their better judgment. An old man falls from the sky. Will it work? It worked. He's like, screw it. I'll be ridiculous. Maybe that'll work. And it did. That was pretty much it in a nutshell, though, for that one. It was a fun one. But, we're getting way off on this one. Definitely keep in mind, if he just goes for anything too crazy, or even if you start doing the action that he's requested of you, and you don't like it, you can make a wisdom save to try to overcome the power of a god. But more on that someday in the future. For right now, we're going to call it a day as you all trounce your way through Kintyre, exploring the dungeon as it now looks pretty. Well, that's all I've got for today's, unless anybody's got any questions.
No questions. Thanks for
Thanks
running.
for the game.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thanks for playing, everyone. It was always awesome. And Dan, you're going to have a good week next week with the sheer volume of treasure that's going to drop on your character's head.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. No, that sounds really unpleasant. If it all drops on his head, he's dead.
No, dodge. Dodge, dip, and dodge.
Rolls with inspiration survives.
If you dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Oh my word. Alrighty, everyone.
Oh, yeah. Earlier I said Arc was on sale. I opened up Steam. Yeah, it's on sale. Survival Evolved is 67% off. Genesis Season Pack is 35% off.
Ooh, not bad.
Ultimate Survivor Edition is 56% off. And the Arc Park is 80% off.
Don't do Arc Park. Arc Park sucks, sorry. The rest of it, though, if you like survival games, it's a fun one. And I run a private server that you can play on for free. So you don't have to deal with people online. You jump on and they're like, we kill you, take all your stuff, good luck surviving, you're in underwear, goodbye. None of that. Private server all the way.
And they have Arc 2 announced for 2023.
Ooh, yay! Hopefully it's not glitchy to frig. It will be. Arc is so glitchy. Fun, but glitchy. Well, thanks for that, Dan. That's good news. I like that. Well then, everyone, we'll kick back on this one next week as you draw ever closer to the very end. Rushing to the end, you are going to get some good treasure, and then one hell of a boss fight, so be ready for that. You've all had a long rest. Try not to waste it.